All right. We are going into the series that has been most requested in the last week. Everybody has said, Pig, when are you casting it? Are you going to cast it? You're going to cast Reynor versus Dark. It's the Gladiator Cup Grand Finals. Reynor, seeing that all the Protoss players dropped out in the first round, said, you know what? I'm going to race switch to Protoss here in the Grand Finals of a $5,000 tournament. We've got Reynor playing Protoss in the top left. And this is going to be his hardest test as Protoss yet, I would argue, because he's playing up against the Zerg player. It is, of course, Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark in the top right, one of the most savage and dominant players in the last 6 months. He has been all over it, the champion of DreamHack Valencia, the last big major international tournament. I mean, he's been just killing it. Very fun, close series with Maru as well. Last season in GSL, I believe it was Maru who knocked him out. Was it Maru or Hero? I think it was Maru. He's been playing really bloody well. But Reynor playing Protoss, I mean, he's very good, but I would characterize Reynor's Protoss style as very greedy, very good in the late game because he gets a giant economy and really, kind of swarms the opponent. I don't know if he can go toe-to-toe with Dark because Dark is such a cheesy Zerg versus Protoss player. And he always catches you off with these really weird, surprising attacks. Now, that, to me, it feels like Reynor's too greedy, and he was just going to die to too many weird random attacks that catch him off guard. However, there is an argument that Reynor is so bloody quick, and his micro is so clean with Protoss. One of his big strengths is his attention to detail with all the micro and little detailed interactions and multitasking. So he might actually be able to scramble together some defenses just with really sick micro and game sense that other Protoss players aren't able to do. So we'll see, does Dark do that cheesy stuff versus Reynor? I think it's a clear path to victory, in my opinion, because it's Dark's specialty. Dark's just not that perfect at playing a clean game. He has gotten better at playing a straight-up macro game in the matchup, but right now you can already see that attention to detail lacking. Dark not counter-microing, and as a result, Reynor is bouncing these drones all over the place. Dark now starts microing it, but I would say Reynor gets a good little bit of damage done, disrupting the mining there. But the workers do all reset. They're all perfectly paired up. Lings are now on the way. Ling speed as well. He leaves one worker on gas, does Dark. That's going to give him the flexibility to make a quick lair. And he's got two Overlords forward. One at the front, which is, of course, watching the Adept, noticing no Warp Gate spinning. He says, hey, that's only 2 minutes 30. Ah, you've gone Stargate. So he can already assume there's a Stargate. And Reynor, where's he chrono boosting? Yeah, chrono boosting probes. And interestingly, he's not chrono boosting his natural right now. I do like that. Notice the Overlord's like, oh, is he shading back or is he going to go forward? And it looks like Reynor is just going to shade back. But of course, Dark doesn't know that. He doesn't know if the Adept's defending a potential Zergling or going forward to scout. Reynor's probe stays on the front, sees no Zerglings coming forward, so he knows he's not being Ling flooded. And now he chrono boosts probes. So just a little bit late on this chrono boost on the natural for Reynor. But he's going to be able to chrono boost an Oracle immediately. And he's got another chrono saved up, so he could chrono another Oracle if he chooses. There is a Stalker out front, which he could bring out to kill the Overlord, but he might not realize that it's still there. Dark, on the other side of things, has gone up to 3 Queens, 2 more on the way, so already going to 5 Queens. Very solid in that. But he does lack a little bit of vision over here, so I'd like to see Dark put an Overlord in this back base, and it looks like this Overlord is going to start heading in that direction. First Oracle's out. He's going to take the inside base. Ah, okay, so Reynor really just wants the very safe base, which makes sense. It really does. Another Oracle's on the way. He was supply blocked, but only for a second or two, so not a big deal. And very good probe production. Notice how he's going to be hitting full saturation on his natural right on 4 minutes. That's a benchmark you guys can check to see how clean a player's been. Even Hero doesn't hit that a lot of the time because Hero likes to cut probes and be a bit more aggressive, but notice 4 minutes full of workers. Technically, it's 1 shy. So I guess we could nitpick 405 fully saturated. Third base is started. Not the quickest third because he had to mine those minerals out, but nonetheless, he's going up to 3 gateways behind it, which gives him really good production. So this is very safe play from Reynor. He also could choose to make Stalkers, kind of like Harstem's build, where you push out with 5 Stalkers and you try to cancel their 4th hatchery while covering it with Oracles. Ooh. Now, there is a Void Ray on the way, so Reynor wants to pick off this Overlord and then maybe go Overlord hunting, which could be a very nice way of doing it. Obviously, the Void Ray is expensive. It does cost 250 minerals, 150 gas, but it will be able to stack up value over time. It tells us that Reynor is willing to play a slower and longer game. He wants the little bits of incremental value, and where is that rallied to? The Void Ray rallied to the front right now. Interesting. 10 more Lings are on the way for Dark. Dark? Oh, he's all hitting. He's all hitting. Oh, okay, he's going for the Nidus Queen Ling. I didn't even realize it. 47 drones, nothing but Queen's Lings and the Nidus Worm. But it feels like Reynor has wind of that from seeing the fast lair, right? He's getting rid of the Overlord at the front. His Oracles are waiting to kill the Nidus in the back. Oh, because Dark does this build way too much. Like, Dark does these really random all-ins, but this one is not that random. Even though it's really hard to read that it's coming, Reynor's aware of it. He's like, yeah, Dark always goes for that, and I'm checking for it. Now, Dark hits so late with this. It's so badly timed. It's so poorly optimized that a lot of Protoss players forget that it's even an option this late in the game. And I think that's what's happened with Reynor right now. Even though he's got a good section of Stalkers, he's like, well, it's 5:30. I mean, it has to have hit by now or it's not happening. He's about to hear that Nidus screech and realize that he is wrong on that. He's going to have to build more pylons and make more Stalkers right now. As, what are the drones for? Is he going to build spines? What? Dark! I mean, I call him a Chad gamer for a reason. This is one of the dumbest, most glorious things I've ever seen, guys. This is the stupidest build I have ever seen. It's amazing. It's nothing but Mass Link Queen Spine. He's going to use the spines and queens to break the wall, and then he's just going to have so many Zerglings coming in. Oh my god, what a sicko. The battery should absolutely be used on the Cybercore. Oracles are going to clean up the Nidus Worm in the back. This is so sick. Okay, Void Ray does clean up that. Now, Reynor, he's just making Stalkers right now, but he's also got Cannons, and Cannons will do very well, especially with the extra batteries versus the Zerglings. He's up 17, 18 workers. All he needs to do is not die right now, and he will end up defending and winning. Now, he's got to have rebuilt his Cybercore. He hasn't rebuilt his Cybercore. Big mistake for Reynor. You've got to be rebuilding that Cybercore ahead of time. Reynor, you got to rebuild it, buddy. He should probably be healing it with the batteries as well, but there we go. Cybercore starts rebuilding in the back of his base. That means he can only make Zealots and Adepts for a little while. He's got the Void Ray defending in the back door. And he's just going to have to keep making pylons and then Stalkers and building up his unit count. Now, the Spine Crawlers can be very efficient here. So he's going to do some Blink Micro backwards, but Battery Overcharge will be ready to heal again in about 4 or 5 seconds. The Queens and the Spines. Spines have 7 range, guys. They outrange Stalkers, and they do massive 30 damage to Armored, which is really sick. But Reynor, he's just used up all of his healing there. He's going to have to Battery Overcharge and keep healing here. So there we go. Now, yeah, you see the Battery Overcharge, and he kind of forces the fight. And that Battery Overcharge is going to get some really nice value here. Good micro back on these Stalkers. It feels like this should be held. I can't imagine Dark breaking through, but you've got to be realizing these attacks, as silly as they look, sometimes it's just that the Spine Crawler DPS, the Queen Transfuse, is so hard to break out of. There's no healing left. The Stalkers are starting to fall, man. The Zealot does go forwards as well. He's making more Stalkers, more gateways being rebuilt in the back, but he's supply blocked right now. So even going up to like 9 or 10 gateways, he can only really make units as he's losing them, Ken Reynor. But, oh, there we go. And get rid of these spines. Whenever the Lings come forward, though, they are very dangerous. A lot of Stalkers ended up dying in this, guys. I say a lot. 6. Okay, it was only 6. Okay, never mind. Not that many Stalkers died. More than I thought, but 3, 4 drone kills do go down there. 70 probes to 54 workers. This is obviously an amazing situation for Reynor. He's adding +1 armor, more Stalkers. The question is, what do you do afterwards? You've got creep around your base. Do you have an observer? I don't think so. Did he just recall? Where are his oracles, guys? Oh, looks like he recalled one oracle. The other one did go down. He's going to have to use Revelation to clear all of these creep tumors, but I love the way Dark's spreading creep back in every direction. Dark's economy does suck. He's only on 58, 60 workers. He's trying to make roaches and infestation. He's going to try and work his way back into the game, but he is massively behind. And I mean, this is, yeah, the trick with Dark's build is that because it's so late and inefficient, it's very hard for the Protoss to read, and so they often just are caught with their pants down. He surprises them, gets the Nidus up, wins the game. But Reynor really did his homework on his opponent. He realizes that Dark has killed so many people with that build in the past, and he's like, dude, it's completely all in. I understand how ridiculously committed this is. A lot of the Protoss players don't seem to realize that. Now, there is another creep tumor there that he's missed. 1, 2, 3, 4 tumors left. I'd love to see Dark keep spreading that just to be a nuisance. Robo, Templar Archives charge, and of course the double forge upgrades. +2 attack, +1 armor are on the way. And he's going to try and go Roach Infester, the comeback composition. Fungals catching Stalkers so they can't micro. Biles landing on top of them. Roachling getting on top. It's a great defensive comp. It's one that Dark has made some pretty miraculous comebacks with in the past. But it's also a sign of desperation. Now, actually, it's a big army for Dark. Got to be careful with these Stalkers. That's a lot of Zerglings. They might not have any melee upgrades, but man, oh, this is a bad positioning for Reynor to get caught in right now. And he's losing a lot of Stalkers there. He does clear up some of these units, but overall, that was about 8 Stalkers there for some Zerglings. Dark seems happy to take that trade. Reynor, he's still out there, happy to keep trying to look for these pickoffs on the edge, just off creep, and that was much better for him. Gets rid of the changelings as well. Revelation on the army does, of course, give Reynor vision of where that roach ball is. Fourth base is mostly established. Cannons and batteries are up there. Big fan of the static defenses. Reynor realizes that that's very frustrating for Zergs to deal with when the Protoss builds an abundance of static. Dark's going to try and run him down. We'll get 1 or 2 Stalkers there, but, oh yeah, 2 Stalkers. Can he get a third? Not just yet, but he's chasing. He's chasing! Dark getting some good value. Zealots do run on in. Best to focus down the drones. Those are usually the highest value targets as they're so low on hit points. Let's see how well he micros it. Reynor, yep. Doesn't really get anything there. Okay, gets 1 drone in the natural and a Zergling, and he's up in the main, just causing distraction. Hey, 4 drones in total, not too bad. So does buy time as well. Observer with the Stalkers should be able to clear all this creep up, allowing him to take a 5th. The Storm is coming in now. Lots of High Templar gathering energy, and he's got more Zealot run-bys out on the map. One thing that's missing is a Warp Prism right now. Reynor really needs that. And in terms of transition, Dark's going Neural and Hive and Hydra. So he's going to go Neural Parasite, so he can steal Immortals and Archons, Neural Parasite them, and he's going to go into Lurkers, which just wreck ground units. Man, if anyone can resurrect themselves, it's always Dark. He's so good at coming back in the game. Him and Reynor, both known as the best comeback players in the world. Watch out for the fungal. Watch out for the fungal! Oh, great blink for Reynor. Does he bother chain fungling it to get rid of the Observer? Yes, he does, but an Observer for 2 fungals, Reynor's okay with that, as long as he doesn't lose his Stalkers. Massive economy advantage for Reynor here. But a very scary force right now for Dark, at least on the defense. I don't think he can push into Storm or anything like that, but Reynor, he's got a big economy. What's his gateway counter? 9. He definitely needs more gateways, guys. He's building 3 more, and 3 more just finished. So he's up to 15 gateways, is Reynor. Wow. Oracle gets fungled, but good spready from Reynor, making sure the fungal can't really do that much. And he's saying, hey, come down the ramp and fight into Psystorm, mate. Come on. Come have some fun with my High Templar, dude. Now, no Observer here, so the creep is giving a good advantage to Dark right now. And doesn't quite get that front creep shimmer. Good feedback. Oh, and some juicy Storms going down as well. Biles, though, do land on the Stalkers. Another fungal kind of zoning him a little bit there. Big Storms, but Bile fungal combo takes out a High Templar. Another one lands, and the Bile lands! The High Templar actually got hit by the corrosive Bile. And oh my god, Dark here, bringing all of his Queen's Roach Ravages. He wants to get rid of all these high-value units. A great fight for Dark. He's going to clear this entire army. What a great... There's Zealots. Watch out, the 15-gate Zealot is here. The 15-gate Zealot is here. There's not that much damage output in the Queens. I thought Dark was going to win that fight and then be in a good spot, but the Zealots do kill a few units, force him to retreat. He's down to just 3 Infestors with very little energy and remaxing on Roaches and Ravagers. It's still a very low-tier army for Dark, but... where's the High Templar? Reynor's making Archon Immortal Zealot. Where is the High Templar? Where is the Storm? Where are the Disruptors? Where is the Skytoss transition? None of that's here. Now, that's Dark just forcing him to rebuild basic ground units for now. I don't think Dark can kill him by any means. There's just too much production, too much static defense behind this. But watch out for Neural or even a big fungal catching this army. Could be big. Stasis Trap could be really nice. And the Biles, nice dodge for Reynor there. Where's the Warp Prism? It's finally about to come out. He's needed that for a while. 15 gateways are up for Reynor. He's got a fully saturated 5th. Big Zealot run by with an Observer on the south. The Observer will allow them to clear up creep spread. Few Roaches are running down, so a nice little run by attempt for Dark. But that at least spots Reynor's intentions. Tries to use Burrow, but with the Observer, the Zealot Archon going to be very powerful. The Prism in the north as well. But Dark, super well prepared. Look at that. Goodbye, Mr. Warp Prism, says Dark. He is so well prepared. He just knew that that would eventually be coming in the top angle. Prism goes down for free. Reynor's got to rebuild that. He really should be rebuilding that and trying to establish this base in the bottom right as well. 92 pros versus 77. But so far, Dark's been trading better than he has. And he's got Lurkers coming in now as well that could add some amazing efficiency. That Lurker doing some really big damage on those Zealots. And these ones up here as well. The static defense is going to die. Some of the Lurkers will go down. Zealots are expendable units right now. He neurals an Archon and says, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself, Reynor? Why are you hitting yourself? But the Storms come down. They break that Infestor. And there's so much Protoss coming forwards on this angle. More Roaches, Hydras, Ravagers, Lurkers are trying to come forward. All the High Templar, everyone. He's going to have to stand his ground and fight his Reynor. The Archons do very well when you shove forward like that, though, because you clump up into the Archon splash damage. And if Dark loses this base, he knows he's economically down in the dumps already on the work account. If he loses this base, he'll be in big trouble. But I've got to say, love the Evo Chamber blocking Zealots from getting in, forcing units to funnel into a bit of a choke point. And the lurk account's growing. He's got seismic spines. He's got adaptive talons. So interestingly, he did go for the movement speed and burrow speed before going for the range on those lurkers. But he's getting +3 attack. He's got +2 armor. Now, there's great upgrades here for Reynor. He's going for a second cyber core, so he's going to be going for double air upgrades. He's going for the fleet beacon, the extra target. So he's going to add some carriers in. Reynor realizing, okay, I'm going to have to play the air. Can't quite kill you with this army just yet. I'd like to see him break the rocks and really get rid of all this creep spread. I do think Reynor could still fly a prism path on the past on the north angle. I think it's a big window where he could leverage that giant income to try and overwhelm Dark in this game. But I think after that last defense, he's like, yeah, I just don't have faith in it. He's kind of going, no, I think his defense is too good. Let's just control the map, be ready for backstabs if he pushes me. But let's not throw any more units away, because the units lost tab has just been too good for Dark in this game. I don't want to give him any more positive trades. +1 air weapons is on the way. Where's the other Cybercore, man? Oh, it's in the very back up there. He hasn't started his army just yet. Overseer flies in. Got to watch out for the Nidus Worm. He warps in a couple Stalkers. You absolutely have to hunt that down, man. Yep, cannot be letting him get vision. Zealots run in. Easy cancel on that bottom base. Could pick off a creep tumor or two before backing off. Zealot Archon can't really get chased down. That's the advantage against the lurkers, is their army is not that fast. So the Zealot Archon can run around clearing up the creep if he wants. I like that he's cleared this creep on the north. It's a very elite army, but kind of small. So if this gets jumped on by lurkers, he could have trouble. Nidus Worm in a defensive stance there. That's going to be a 5 Stargate setup for Reynor in this scenario. He starts his +1 armor. His +2 plasma shields is about to finish. Nidus Worm goes up. Reynor might be a little scared of that, not realizing it's just a defensive one. Dark's going to go for a shove. Oh my god, he's got 27 lurkers, and he's committing 20 of them to the push, 7 at home on the defense. Oh, Dark is such a friggin' crazy man. He doesn't have almost any support for it, but you know what? Archons and Immortals ain't going to do much. The Zealots need to come in from every side. If he wants to engage this, Reynor needs to 360 this. He's got a lot of cannon battery that is stalling out the advance on that side. He's going to go from every single angle. Will it work? The Zealot Archonite Templar, but the lurker damage is massive on the north, but the Zealot Archon on the south cleaving through. Massive Zealot warping on the left side. We said he needed to do a 360. Reynor realized that instantaneously, set up for it. It looked like it was going to be a 270 surround, but as he lost units and freed up supply, instant mass Zealot warping on the left flank to complete the encirclement. And the lurkers do go down. The units lost now tied up, which is of course good for Reynor as he's mining more on this map. He's kind of the guy who's got more money, so that's really good. He's also remaxing on carriers against a guy who's building Hydra Lurker. And that means Reynor has essentially checkmated his opponent, because lurkers don't shoot up. Hydras are not good versus carriers. The carriers are going to have 2/2 +3 plasma shields in the next 2 minutes. And he can hit 10 carriers potentially as well if he trades out some more Zealot Archon. But even just with 5 carriers, they're going to trade so well versus the Hydras. And there's no counterplay. There's no Spire even started building. There's no Vipers for Abducts. There's no answer to it. The Zealot Archon's going to shove in. Wow, I mean, yeah, you don't know how many lurkers are there. That's a bit of a crazy move, but I love the way he's just pushed Dark into the corner. You look at Dark's vision here, all he sees is this corner. I mean, I love the way Dark has stayed alive and fought back in this game. Remember that he failed an all-in early on, so this all kind of bodes well for Dark's abilities to just not die even from terrible positions. A wall of cannon battery. Oh my god, that's actually kind of expensive to get through. About 30 Zerglings get cleared. A couple of lurkers are going to go down trying to break that as well. Wow. And he's going to counterattack with his own Zealot Archon. And the carriers get recalled down here. They're going to completely deflect this. Reynor really abusing the power of the cannon battery so fantastically. And look at this. He says, hey, I'm still microing this army very well. The carriers are going to push the south at the same time. Great zoning storms, damaging the lurkers, softening them up. Now he's going to get jumped on. Those High Templar are not long for this world, but the Zealots in the natural as well, tearing up the Queens. If those Zealots go up into the main, good pullback. Notice he's pulling away from the lurkers, abusing their immobility. Carriers pushing it on the south side at the same time. This is a beautifully executed maneuver. The way he is just pulling these lurkers around and fighting away from them is amazing. Even here, he just clicks on the Evo chamber, out of range of most of those lurkers, and it looks like just the carriers on the south is where the real damage will get done as well. Pushing through over The Hydras, the Queens. He's got the +2 air weapons finally kicking in. Very essential there. So he does equalize the air attack versus the Hydralisk armor upgrades. Queens and Hydras trying to hang on here. This carrier is going to die to a Spore if he's not careful. The Hydras do focus fire it. One carrier goes down. Reynor on the left side lands a few more Storms on those Lurkers as he gets pushed back. But you can see here the Hydras and the Queens are starting to fall. There's not many Interceptors left. Reynor has definitely overstayed his welcome and does just withdraw a little bit later than he should have. I guess he doesn't care though because he's got money to spare. He knows his opponent does not. Dark is broke, mate. And, oh, does he get the Infestor? Almost, but not quite. Pulls on back for now. 93 probes are up. Reynor has a full base down there. He's going to rebuild a few cannons and even a pylon out front as well. Just to kind of spot for that, block it up a little bit. +3 air weapons, +2 air armor is about to finish, +3 plasma shields about to finish. He's so on point with his upgrades, is Reynor. The attention to detail really is there with adding all of those things that he needs for the long term. He's even got 2 more Robos, +3 air armor, immediately chronoed. The Robos, of course, allow him to swap into Immortals if he chooses to. If there's like a Ultra Corruptor swap, Ultras clear his ground, Corruptors clear the air, he can swap into a full ground army and do very well against that. Carrier is going to break through these Spores very quickly. Hydra Infestor is here. Microbial Shroud and a Fungal on the Intercept is very nice, but there's Psystorm coming in. That Psystorm will ruin his Hydras. Good pullbacks for Dark. Doesn't really take any damage to the first one. That Storm gets a bit of damage. Almost takes his own Observer out. Hatchery does fall. The Infestors, at least one of them does go down. Microbial Shroud, very nice. Hydras take out a Carrier. Dark here, unfortunately, just doesn't have much Hydralisks left. It's like 5 Hydras kill 2 Carriers. That's adorable. It's amazing. It's one of those things where only Dark could get a single carrier kill in this scenario. But you got to say, when it's 40 Interceptors versus 5 Hydras, it's a losing battle. And Reynor there, business as usual when he gets that lead. I love the planning from Reynor. You could tell the moment he saw the fast lair, he was like, yep, he's going to Nidus Worm me. Pulled back his air units, set up defensively, and responded perfectly. All right, well, I said dumb all-ins would catch his greedy ass off guard, but he was well prepared for that one in game 1. Reynor here now in the bottom left of Waterfall. He's going to go right across the map. Oh, are we cheesing? Or is that... Yeah. Why is he going across so early? Interesting. Dark in the top right. Will he play more of a quote-unquote macro game? Will he do just a different one of his crazy attacks? I still think going for these crazy attacks that Dark's known for, I mean, it's how he plays ZVP. I think his natural state of ZVP is really good. Now, he's sending this super early. That's entirely unnecessary. On this map, you can scout after the pylon and still get the block off, I believe. So, Reynor is scouting early enough to block a 15 hatch. I don't think I've ever seen Dark go for a 15 hatch, not even once. So, correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys have seen it, where he goes for the 15 hatch, goes for it to supply early just to beat the block, sure. But I think Reynor might just do that out of habit. Because it works on the bigger maps, right? Where it takes forever for your probe to get across. So he's like, oh yeah, I just send a probe across and then I go down to build the next one. I thought 13 pylon was more efficient than that, actually. Just sending the probe down to build the pylon a supply early. But interestingly, Reynor has his own idea of what's a bit more efficient there. Gas pool after that with that third base out the front. Now, this is a map where Reynor, he could play a ground style. I don't really see it as his style, though. I really feel like he's a Stargate boy through and through. Core first, he's going to go for an Adept Pressure to start things off. He's going to try and get in there with a double Adept. He's forced that base, so Reynor with a very good plan here. Going to see 2 Chronos into Adepts. Now, he should be going Pylon, then second Gas here. And the reason is that gets reordered in this scenario. Now, he could actually have built a probe before going for that. No, actually. Oh, okay, because his gate and core is so fast. He actually did need the Pylon on 20. Interesting. Guess because he sent his probe across the map so early at the start of the game. So interesting to see the way this is mapping out this build order. And he's now, of course, going to rally onto that gas. Chronoing Adept immediately. No Warp Gate research just yet. He does click it, but he might cancel that and start a Stargate in the main. Do we want to do that? I don't think so, because he's got to queue the extra Adept immediately as well and drop in a second Chrono. So he's onto his second gas. Oh, yep. Cancels Warp Gate. Drops the Stargate. And that's going to delay the second Adept by just 1 second. Not a big deal. And there we go. Second Chrono coming forwards. Okay, so Ling Speed started up, pulling everyone off gas this time around is Dark. Realizing Minerals is going to be really important. He gets his third started nice and early. 6 Lings are already out to help defend. He's going to send 2 Lings to try to get inside the base. That could distract Reynor's multitasking. I like this. And he says, look, wait for the second Adept to come out. And then, oh, he's actually going to send 4 Lings in. Great little backstab. Now the Adept already came in, forced a Spore Crawler trick there. Good response by Dark. I love this. And there's nothing at home. There's no third Adept building. Oh, Dark with a great understanding of what all these things mean. Even though a third Adept now starts up, Reynor's multitasking about to get tested. Has to immediately recall an Adept. And that's so annoying. So a probe goes down. He gets a full scout, does Dark. And he takes the teeth away from this push. Because now it's only 1 Adept. There's none of that lethality. He doesn't have the ability to one-shot probes. And he just lost another probe at home as well. Can he at least get this Adept out? No, he can't. That Adept goes down. 2 probes. Doesn't get any direct damage. What a disaster for Reynor. However, and a 3rd probe as well. Another! More Lings coming in. The Adept in the wall is going to get surrounded and killed. Oh, no. Oh, does she win? Nope, she's gonna lose that fight. The Adept in the main gets surrounded by the Ling speed as well. Oh my god, he has to emergency wall off. But Dark's economy kind of sucks, guys. That's what I was gonna say is the one saving grace here for Reynor. Is that Dark's economy is very weak right now. But with all those Adepts gone, Dark can just freely drone. I mean, does the Oracle turn on the laser beam to kill a single Zergling? Apparently the answer is yes. That's really irritating. Oh, more Lings coming in. Oh no! Oh no, this is so irritating. And Dark now taking a massive economic lead. You could just see this little adjustment in the opening, realizing, hey, you went core first. You want to double Adept pressure me? And Dark was thinking 2 steps ahead. That is the expertise of a truly high level, super high level Zerg, where he says, I saw that the core was finished earlier than it should have been. I immediately hide Zerglings across, build some extra Lings, and bam, I wait for the second Adept to leave, and then I go in, and suddenly you are in an impossible situation. Unless you do a 3rd chrono boost into a 3rd Adept, a very unusual thing to do. It's very bad for the Protoss. It's such a rare move for the Zerg to anticipate like that, but he did it very nicely. Adepts coming on in, they get a Creep Tumor. Not really going to be able to do anything else. Definitely should cancel this Shade. Oracles pull back, Shade cancels as well. Good moves by Reynor. His 3rd starts now, 4 minutes 50. He's so far behind economically, though. This should be a cakewalk for Dark from here. This is such a big lead. I can't see him struggling too much. Oracles come in, get 1, get 2, get 3. Oh my god. Good damage. That helps. That does help. Dark is lower on his queen count than he'd normally be. So that massive worker lead, all that damage, it did come at a cost. But both Oracles are now deep in the red. They're going to be relegated to defense. They can't do anything else after that. And Dark immediately replenishes those drones, still at a 6 worker lead. Twilight Council and 2 more gateways going up. So Reynor's going to go 4 gate Stalker here. Roaches are on the way. And a lot of Overlords. I think Dark's just going to Queen Walk. So I think he's going to, yeah, he's going to basically build nothing but Roaches behind this. He's got 3 gases up. So yeah, no lair even. If there was a Dark Shrine, it would hard counter this build because he's not going to have the ability to make Overseers. But as it is, it's a Queen Walk, Ravager Ling. Kind of old school here. Reynor's pulling back to his natural. Does he cancel the 3rd? Canceling the 3rd's a hard call to make, but he does make it. It's high-level decision-making for Reynor, realizing better to at least survive and give yourself a chance of fighting back on 2 base. But Dark, as soon as he sees Reynor fall back, starts up drones. He still might try and assault the wall off. There's just so few units there that Reynor is in such a bad position that even though, yeah, Dark doesn't need to. Reynor needs to cancel these batteries right now and go to plan B. Dark is just too fluid right now. 6 drones do go down. These Adepts being a nuisance. 7 worker kills in total there. The Oracles combining with the Adepts to do that. But one of the Oracles went down. He does cancel some of the batteries, but still 3 finishing. It's a lot of minerals that aren't going to help you defend your 3rd base. They will help defend this ramp later on. But Reynor moves back out, takes the 3rd. He's down 10 workers. Disruptors are basically a must for Reynor at this point. I think you kind of have to go Robo. He's going to be building Oracles. Okay, yeah, that's one way of doing it. I mean, the creep spread's not amazing for Dark, so he can't really just walk his queens across the map. But I kind of feel like the big boomies is the one thing I'd be doing. I also feel like if Dark drops a Spire, a Muta swap is GG. He's just so far ahead economically that just dealing with the Roaches, the Queens, the Lings is going to keep Reynor so busy. Swapping into Mutas, just a tactical squad or a big round to do run-bys could be big. On such a small map, not something Dark's going to favor. I think he's just going to drop the Infestation, work towards Hive and Lurkers, knowing that Reynor is so far behind. Forge on the way in the natural. Still no Robo for Reynor. He might try and stick to a completely Robo-less style, and that'll be the corner that he cuts to keep his kind of build efficient. Lots of Roachling, up about 20 army supply and 10 worker supply. The Oracles come in again, but loses another Oracle. Ah, that hurts. Stalkers maybe thinking about sniping the 4th. That is not possible, though. He's got to be real careful. If he gets flanked and surrounded by the Lings... Oh, big Ling run by. Big Ling run by. Uh-oh. Okay, that Stalker moving in. These Stalkers going to get caught here. The Ling's going to go in for a big run by potential there. Okay, he's trying to pull back to the battery. Is Reynor. He's going to pull back the rest of his Stalkers as well. The Ling's just doing a run around, keeping the Protoss back. Reynor unable to move forward. Overseer in the main can scout just about everything as well. 65 workers for Dark. He's still making Roaches, Ravages, Lings. The easiest path to victory, I think, is probably just taking a brick of Roaches, Lings, Ravages, and smashing it into the face of Reynor. The numbers advantage. I don't see how Stalkers make up for that. He's only got the one Oracle. The Oracle's trying to get wind of what's going on. He sees drones rallying to that base. And there is even 6 more drones on the way, but the supply lead... absolutely ridiculous. Second Forge. Reynor's going to try and play double Forge. Oh, okay, that is, man, this is a very skill. Only a very high-level player would try to get back in the game this way, because it's such a long shot unless you have incredible micro. Like, your Zealot Stalker fights need to be perfect, and you want to kind of just survive until you're maxed out, and then say, hey, I have 2-2 upgrades, and I can micro my heart out and hopefully beat you, but I think... there's a high chance of Lurkers hitting by then. Dark's max. Dark's going to go for it. I said the most efficient path to victory is probably this. Just go and smash him with your big old baseline army. Good dodges on those biles from Reynor. He's got lots of batteries to fall back on. Battery overcharge has been forced out, though. The Roach Ravager happy to just fall back. Wait for that to expire before they go in. The Adepts are going to get 4-5 kills here. Not bad. The economy is actually surprisingly close right now. The double Forge is not paid off yet. Still just +1 versus +1. Equal upgrades. The Oracle does turn on its laser beam and starts trying to focus down the Ravagers. Oh, he's going to take out a few Ravagers with the aggressive blink forward. Reynor really utilizing a great angle there. Gets a surprisingly good engagement. And I really felt like this was such a hard situation to come back from, but he's doing well. And the fact that Dark was so committed to that, it still means there's a chance here. The Infestation Pit goes down. Dark's rebuilding more workers that he lost to the Adepts. Still up 60 supply, which is almost pure army supply. The Roach Ravager army is still so scary. I think if Dark attacks from this side and this side at the same time, I think there's just too much. There won't be enough room. But if he keeps attacking in one big blob, that's where Reynor will struggle. Dark realizing this, he split Roach Ravagerling on the right and the left. He says, hey, I don't think you can defend that 4th base, mate. So he's going to deny that while taking to Hive and Lurker Den. He's forgotten his Hydralisk Den. He could play Swarm Host from here as well. That is another option. Roach Ravagerling on the right side coming on in. The Stalker's trying to warp in. Reynor realizing, oh man, I'm massively outnumbered. He's trying to micro fights. He wins the fight on the left side quite handily, but his 4th base is in the open. It's very exposed. His Stalker micro is so good. Reynor's Stalker micro is so good, but he doesn't cancel the Nexus, loses it. Stalkers on the left are winning that fight. He even tries to hunt down the Ravagers, but he loses 2 Stalkers for it. Dark with fantastic revenge micro. Infestation Pit, Hive, Hydra Den, as I said. Yeah, he forgot the Hydra Den, so his Lurker Den's going to be a bit late, but killing the 4th Nexus still pretty good. Reynor has a crazy work account, so if he gets his 4th up, he's got great mining. He's got 2-2. Like I said, surviving to just max out is his goal. He's only 50 supply off. If he can hit 2-2 upgrades, 50 supply, that'd be amazing. He's going to have to recall these Stalkers. Blink and recall, blink and recall. 2 Stalkers get caught out there. And he loses 1 extra before the recall completes as well, but he averts disaster. The entire army grouped up on one side. It allows Reynor to bring 80% of his army over here to defend that side. Great spreading for Reynor. Great manual control from him. Does take some damage to the biles, though, while microing elsewhere. The Roach Ravager just shoving on forwards. Great micro by Reynor, but he needs incredible fights. He needs delectable fights. He needs absolutely perfect engagements, and Dark always in there with the 1-2 punch. Gets a few probes on that base at the same time. The 4th does survive. The work account looks good for Reynor, but only now is his 2-2 there. Mass Roachling on the rebuild for Dark. He's just constantly finding these angles and trading with these efficient low-tier units. And the units lost have not too bad for him, despite headbutting in many different fights, really just taking a big, massive low-tier units and smushing them into the face of Reynor. He's trading not too bad. Reynor he's so far down on the numbers in these fights that he's getting overrun a little bit. Now the Stalkers on the left crushing that fight with the battery overcharge. They look really good, but the Stalkers on the right are a much more evenly matched force. Does feel like Reynor's starting to maybe get the better end of some of these trades, though. The supply looking dangerously close, but Dark, he's yet to remax yet. He hasn't actually built any Hydra upgrades. He's thinking about making Lurkers. He's building Zerglings right now. Dark not really spending his money despite having 16 lava. Roaches do breach their natural. Reynor hanging on like a goddamn champion, though. Dark, he's building an accidental Swarmhost. Yes, he's making some Lurkers, and there's absolutely no answer to Lurkers in this game, right? No charge, and only one Oracle for detection. I mean, Reynor's got to go. He needs to push out right now, but with the Lurkers coming out on time, it feels like Dark will be able to most likely survive this push. The Revelation does not capture the creep. And I love the survive maneuver from Reynor. It's just, was there a plan B? Mass Stalkers, Oracles, amazing upgrades. I mean, if there's no Lurkers, you win the game right now, but there is Lurkers. This is not the dream scenario that he was looking for. He's going to start a Robo, maybe go for a 5th base in charge. I think he needs to go to the next stage of the game and play a sort of late game scenario. He's got to evolve, and he is going to try and do it. He's got +3 weapons on the way, charge, a Robo. He's going to start building more gateways as well. He's only on 7 gates right now, not the number of production facilities that Reynor likes. Good micro with these Stalkers, just picking off units. Units lost tab looking pretty good for him, considering he's going to try and shove the left side. The Lurkers on the ramp are going to have something to say about that. Hold position, Lurkers! They're on hold fire! He waits, and then he activates all at once. A lovely trap for Dark. Gets a lot of the Stalkers in their red and does manage to take him out as well. Great moves for Dark. Very tricky play here. The Swarmhost on the left does get focused down. Of course, that was an accidental Swarmhost. Stalkers over here going to try and focus down the Lurkers. The cannons revealing. They're revealing one of the Lurkers, but not the rest of them. This Roach Ravager is getting absolutely ransacked, but Lurkers getting in the back line, and there's just so little detection, mate. There's so little detection. The Oracle's going to come back, but it's only got 20 energy right now. Oh, no! Lurker! Lurker finds the probe line on the left side. Good pullback by Reynor. Realizes what's up. Does deal with it. But look at that. He only reveals one of the Lurkers. There's no observer here. Oh, this is so irritating. Dark getting massive damage done. And just like in game 1, where Reynor was ahead all game, this time Dark's been ahead all game, and yet both players struggling to finish each other off, even when they're ahead in the game, yet still building these advantages upon themselves, stacking them up, and that can be massive. The observer does come forwards, cleans up that Lurker. Single Lurker on its own. Does take out a couple Stalkers, but does get cleaned up at the end of the day. Behind this, more Lurkers, +3, 2 upgrades about to finish for Dark. So he says, upgrade lead? What upgrade lead, mate? I've got sick upgrades as well. Stalkers on the left, going to try and focus fire the Lurkers, but they burrow so quickly with the Talons. And battery overcharge comes in, but that's too many Lurkers. Stalkers cannot fight against that army. He has to counter push on the right side, and indeed he does just that. Good pullback for Reynor. I think he's fighting very well considering, but he has to give up this position, and unfortunately for him, that means losing his only robotics facility. He's got a second one building. He does take out the 5th base of Dark on the right side, but Dark doing a very good unit spread. Lings, Queens, and a couple of Lurkers defending on the right. The Observer's out. There's no Overseer here, which is very good for Reynor. His Observer's able to just sit overhead, doesn't have to stress too badly. Still got that Oracle alive, so very good handling for him. And he's rebuilding a Nexus on the right as we speak. More Hydras and Lurkers on the way. Dark's going to take a hatchery on the right side of the map. The Stalkers rotating through the middle. The Observer now allowing them to finally clear up some of this creep. There are still tumors so deep on the map that he is causing him issues. Lurkers do burrow there. Queens and some Overlords going down there. Nice. Snipes from the low ground. Gets rid of that creep there as well, no doubt. Yep. Overlords are still hidden in the back, and Nidus Worm could be easily game-ending in this match. Disruptors on the way. Second Robo as well is building. No Vipers out just yet. I guess he hasn't seen the Disruptors yet, so Dark not really preparing for the next stage. I'm amazed there's no Nidus Worm. That there's no, I don't know, Nidus Worm swap or maybe get a few Infestors out to lock these Stalkers down. He's still in a good position, and it seems like he's just going to go for a critical mass of Lurkers and go for that big Lurker shove. The Dark Special, we saw it in the previous game. Grab 20 Lurkers, shove into your opponent's bases, and hope they just can't deal with it. We saw that Reynor dealt with it with a giant surround, but that was an Immortal Archon Storm Zealot surround. This is a mass Stalker army. This army cannot engage like that. Nice Disruptor to soften up some of the Lurkers, but dude, you need like 6 Disruptors in front of this army, or it is going to push through you. The Stalkers grabbing a Lurker and then blinking back. Great micro by Reynor, but these probes are very exposed. Feels like he's going to have to move over to try and defend that. Oh no! Some of his units rallying through the back of the army. He feels like he has to defend this position or it's game over, and Stalkers are just no match for those +3 damage Lurkers. Great play by Dark there. And an amazing, amazing counter. Just 4 Zerglings sneaking around the Adepts at the start of the game. Massively screwing up Reynor from the start. Dark takes an epic lead and does capitalize, ties up the series. Fighting back there in spectacular fashion. And what a great read. I mean, I never thought of that, but just building 4 Lings to counterattack. And even though Dark's economy didn't look great, man, those Lings getting in and just causing so much chaos. Beautiful play from Dark to get way ahead in that last game. And, you know, that might just scare Reynor off from even trying any more Cybercore first shenanigans. This is another good map for it because it's such a small rush distance. This is a great map. But he's actually not going to be going for the early scout or the block. He's going to go gate scout by the looks of it, just checking that he's not getting 12 pulled. I mean, you're playing Dark. You never know if he's going to 12 pull you, I guess. I do want to see Reynor play some gas first, no scout builds, though, because it's been a while since I saw Dark even mix in 12 pull in this matchup. And it's so powerful to take advantage of that sort of hole in someone's breadth of strategy, right? If someone never plays something, you really just should not play safe against it. And this is like at the highest levels of play. If someone's never risking going for a very aggressive 12 pool, then hey, you should play really greedy against 12 pool until they start mixing it in. And yeah. Oops, sorry guys, just fixing something on the production side here. Ugh. Oh my god, I'm incompetent. And there we go, all good. Alright, so nice quick Nexus into Cybercore there. We've got the second gas should be going down in just a moment here for Reynor, but he's very busy microing this probe. Just being a real nuisance here. Look at that, just bouncing these drones all over the place. He does end up finally mining those 5 minerals, but he wasn't going to be harassing for much longer anyway. Now the spawning pool's almost done, so Lings will be coming out very shortly. Now, does Reynor take the free base in the back, or does he want to get the sick economy, get the 3rd out front, get the 4th out front, and play from there? 3rd in the back is so reliable and easy to get up that I think it's a no-brainer to take that. This map and Stargazers should be Protoss favored. Reynor 1 Stargazers against a bit of an all-in. I mean, this is a terrible map to all in on, but I've seen Dark on this map in the past just like try to do a Ravager Ling bust. And it's like, dude, the Protoss has like a 3rd base back here. They just build some batteries and stalkers. It's the easiest defense of their life. But like, it's just one of those things where Dark does really, on paper, bad all-ins. And if it doesn't get scouted, it still can work because he's Dark, he pulls it off. Surprise factor is massive, not to be underestimated. But when it gets scouted, it does look really bad. I think it was Estrella he did that verse, and Estrella just shut it down very, very lazily. Like, it didn't feel like Estrella even needed to react too hard. Now, the Lings are getting in, but Reynor, he should be able to kill both of them pretty quickly. So, it costs you 2 Zerglings, you get a scout off, but not the end of the world. The probe here checking that he's not getting Ling flooded as well. Very good play for Reynor. And an immediate Oracle starting up on the 3-minute mark. Now, I do wonder, Reynor not really chronoing his probes that much. He's got a lot of chrono saved up, so a little bit weird in that regard. He's sending a probe to build the pylon. Yep, 40 pylon, so very well timed, sends it out the back. 3rd base out the front for Dark. I think he'll go 4th here, and he'll only take that back base as like an extra 5th base. So very good play for Dark. He's left the worker on gas this game as well. Unlike that last game, he wants to have that gas flexibility. Overlord does see the Oracle on the way across the map. He's already got 2 spores, so very safe play, going 5 queens and 2 spores. He's got 2 queens in position. The Oracle's going to try to come in between the bases, but look at that queen movement for Dark. Great spready on the queens. Oracle finds nada. 3rd Nexus goes down, 3 minutes 50. Pretty solid. 2nd Oracle is on its way across the map. The Oracle's going to try and slide in, but great queen positioning again, man. Dark ain't taking any damage this game, but having built 2 spores this early, that does cost you, right? It's not like that's free. He's going to go Evo Chamber, so +1 melee, very likely to be a heavy Zergling style. Could be Ravager Bane, or it could be a pure Ling Bane style, which is very good for countering Blink Stalkers. Twilight Council on the way. No forge, no extra gateways just yet. Reynor is only going 3 gas. Could be a pure Blink Stalker push here. Oh, he's going to send some Adepts forward as well. Units lost up, looking pretty damn good for the Zerg player, Dark. He's up 3 workers now as well. Yeah, this is a good dive, though. The healthier Oracle was up front tanking, and he finds some more drones rallying. Ooh, but he's going to lose one. 6 workers do go down. How many lings are out of the map right now? Only 2. Ooh, queens are not a good answer to adepts. They need to go for the mineral line, though. And they will do just that. Already getting 2 of these drones. And they will no doubt try and continue that journey. Evo Chamber blocks them a little bit. Queens are going to block them and make it a bit less efficient. Drones here. And the Zerglings right on top. Adept will take out those 2 lings, but more lings do arrive. Oracles dive the main, or Oracle, the remaining one. And that's a lot of worker damage. Reynor ties up the workers there. Brings it back to 51 versus 51. He's got his own forge on the way, and he's going straight charge. Oh, yes! I've been talking about charge being such a good style, especially against these players who are skipping the Roach Warren and playing Pureling Bane. And Dark is going to be playing under the assumption that, yep, it's Blink Stalkers again. It's always Blink Stalkers. That's what they do every game. 5 minutes 30, still no Roach Warren. Reynor's seen that. And he's like, yep, let's do charge, man. Let's go for charge. He's already got a Prism and +1 on the way. I've been talking a lot in this matchup and studying it myself. And +1 and a Warp Prism makes charge lots so much better because that will 2-shot Zerglings with +1 attack, and the Warp Prism is going to allow you to get in the back of the base and work many different angles. So he's going to try and get in now that left flank, because then he can choose to hit here, here, or here. Pretty much impossible to stop that unless you get the Spore and 2 queens here and you stop the Prism crossing over in the first place. Once it's in position, very annoying to deal with. Now, there is a Roach Warren on the way, so Dark's not being Pureling Bane. He will be able to add in those Roaches, especially as Archons join the map. But Reynor, he's going to need to take a 4th out front because he's already at 66 probes. You can see he's very oversaturated. And he's going to need to start transferring workers out there. Zealots are not warped in just yet. It's Archons to start. Oh, wow. Yes, straight to the Archons. Very good versus the Zerglings. Oracle's not here. Oh, this is a good move for Dark. Nice cancel there. Reynor's going to lose a bunch of gateway units. And his Archon's just going to go for the counter offense. Ain't going to find Jack, man. Oh, Reynor. Bad mistake. Bad mistake. Oh, I mean, the Archons can do okay versus the Queens. Queens don't have great damage, but they got transfused. The Prism needs to get out. The Zerglings are here. Uh-oh, get out of there with those Archons, buddy. Get out of there. He wants to pick it up. Oh, he gets it. He gets it without losing the Prism. Very well, though. You could tell he did not want to go. Just one big volley from all 6 Queens, and that would have been a dead Prism. So, whew, saves the Archons. Well done. Dark's economy is at 50. What? Dark's only at 58 workers. What the hell is Dark doing? His economy's down in the dumps and he's massing roaches. Dark is on an absolutely horrendous economy right now. Great stasis trap, but lings in the base. The Zealots will defend the natural and the main. This base, the probes are going to try and fight it on their own. A few of them will die, but Reynor's so far out on probes. I don't know if he matters or cares too much. Archon Observer comes forward. Oh, get out of there, mate. Does pull back just barely in time. The Zerglings end up only getting 1 or 2, only getting 7 probes there. 4th base is up. Reynor's going for Psystorm. 11 more workers are on the way. Finally, Dark's trying to drone on up, but he really sat on 58 workers for far too long. I was so focused on what Reynor was doing, I didn't even realize that after those 11 workers that got killed by the 2 Adepts and the Oracle, Dark didn't really replace them. And I think the fact that they were Archons kind of scared the crap out of him, kept him distracted. But the Queens do clean up the Oracle in the back. That means there is no Oracles on the map. The only detection is going to be this one Observer. It's going around clearing up the creep a little bit. There is a 2nd Prism on the left side. I do like that. The double Prism style is very cool. Unfortunately for Reynor, though, Archon's stuck behind. This is not an accessibility-friendly entrance, guys. Reynor, unfortunately, is one of those people who says, fuck Archons, man. Fatties can't get through the door, but does ferry them forwards with the Warp Prism. Has to call the fire department. And the Zealots there. Okay, let's see how we go. Prism on the right, Prism on the left as well. Cannon battery going up. No cannons in the back bases at all. Okay, 1 cannon in the main and a battery. That'll help him defend versus mutas. 2nd forge is on the way. Not too bad. He's got Zealots on the top right there. Queens moving forward. Man, the double Prism is very, very cool. But he doesn't have too much High Templar energy. He's got his first 4 Psystorms ready now. Interesting map control. Oh! Check it. Triple Dropalord. He's going to go for Baneling drops on the army? Or is he going to send these around the map to the different bases? I think to the different bases, surely. Overlord's going to be very cool with that one. If you drop it on the army, because there's nothing that shoots up except Archons, you can actually potentially kill the High Templar. That could be really cool. Now, he's actually queuing these back around the very edge of the map, and he's going to come around and then drop in the back. Oh, Dark's setting up a very sexy move there, but he doesn't have a hive or anything. He needs to get extra Evo upgrades. He's building a Spire now. Is he just going to play Lair Tech for life? Okay, there we go. Great Aspire. So Hive Spire. He's got Carapace on the way. I mean, he's got quite a lot of Roaches, so I wouldn't mind a +1 range as well to round out his upgrades. Reynor's going to go for the 5th base out at the front. And so far, Units Lost tab is almost dead even. Reynor's got the Zealot on the top right, Zealot on the bottom left. Building more cannons, more batteries. He doesn't really have an answer to Broodlords, but they're still about 2.5 minutes away. Reynor's got a big maxed out Immortal Archon Storm push. Now, what you got to pay attention to with these High Templar is when do they hit 150 energy? Most of them at 120 to 140 energy. One of them only at 75. But yeah, 2 of them. So 2 of them are only going to have a single Psy Storm. The other 4 are going to have 2 Psy Storms. That's going to be a total of 10 Psy Storms available in about 10-20 seconds. That's not a bad number, but unlike Disruptors that can fire for days, remember those High Templar take a very long time to refuel. Now the Overlords are moving around the left side. I don't know what happened to the other Overlord. Did he split it? Oh, yes, he did. 4 Baneling drop on the bottom left, and he's got these guys over here as well. Ooh, Baneling speed not quite ready. He forgot that upgrade. That's a big problem. Baneling's going to try and roll into the Archons. The Ling Roach doing a decent spready, but this is a very scary push. A lot of Zealots are left behind. Zealots attacking on the right side. And even though the Banelings are hitting them, it's still not very cost efficient for the Banelings, I don't think so. You can see the cost efficiency is always going to be better for the Protoss if they do even just a little bit of spreading on those. Whoa! Baneling drop! Baneling drop! Baneling drop! Reynor, no reacty! Oh, Reynor, no reacty. Reynor takes some big boom booms. One more Baneling left as well. Will he be able to get more damage done? Dark here doing some great damage. That one goes down, but it ain't over till it's over, mate. And look at that. The Banelings doing massive damage all over the shop. Dark finds the back mineral line at the same time. 29 workers. And even more going to be going down before it's over. 33 workers killed. Zealots forced to warp it in the back. Reynor has such a big economy. He can re-probe very quickly. But a great trade and a good bit of damage there for Dark. This buys him time, potentially. Greatest Spires on the way. Reynor doesn't have the info. He doesn't know that there's a hive and there's a Greatest Spire. Now, Corruptors haven't started building because Reynor's so active on the map. So it's still build Corruptors and then morph Broodlords, right? He can't just do one. He's going to have to do both in order to make that work and make that transition. And I think he needs to do it because Reynor's army, I mean, Ravager Bane is not going to be able to beat this over time. It's just, there's so much Storm and Archon in there. You're going to need Broodlords. So I think Dark, he needs to get a move on. He just needs to, I know it's hard to free the supply up, but he has to do it. He's got to start the Corruptors and start making those broods sooner rather than later. Archon says, hello, Banelings! Takes out about 4 of those before they get past. And does still have Zealots and Cannons at the other bases, so he should be well defended. Back up to 86 workers is Reynor. He's got +2 Plasma Shields, +3 weapons on the way. They're not ready just yet. Archon's trying to move up that ramp. Bit too cramped there, unable to move in. This is still no real timer because the Corruptors haven't started. There's no Broodlords on the way. This feels like some very small, fragile armies on the top, on the bottom left for Dark, but he's going to overwhelm the top right. Great fight for Dark there. The Zealots get absolutely smashed. Reynor should be punishing on this left side. He's got to push in there. There's like 6 Ravagers, and yet he falls back. Reynor, perhaps playing a little bit scared right now. Yeah, Dark, he's not making the Corruptors. And that's a huge mistake. He's making a second Spire. He's making +3 melee, +2 Carapace. If he doesn't get Broodlords out, he's going to get so crushed. If there's one big battle, unless he somehow gets Banelings on the High Templar, which should be impossible with this Archon count, it's just going to not work for him. Reynor's still separating these Zealots off. Baneling run-bys, I mean, they can do economic damage, but we've seen that Reynor has so much economy, he almost doesn't care. Zealots on the top right ain't going to do shit. This army, very scary, though, for Reynor. Banelings ain't going to find the mark. Only 3 probes and a Zealot or 2 going down. The High Templar still looking rock solid here. The Archons do take a bit of damage. He's trying to get a High Templar up front so he can zone this, but look at that. Roach Ravager coming around for the flanky flank. Archon, High Templar, Immortal. There's only 3 Immortals in here, but my god, that's a lot of Archons. 10 Archons. Prism and an Archon go down to Corrosive Biles. In the rear with the gear, say those Ravagers. Zealots pushing it on the right side, though, to punish. And as I said, Roaches, Ravagers are not going to be able to deal with a maxed out Archon High Templar ball. Dark is microing like the god of all Zergs. The fact that he's picked off as many Archons as he has is a testament to his micro, but he's just got the worst toolkit. He's had the Broodlord tech for so long, he's finally morphing Broodlords, but he took too long to do it. Far too long to do it. A 5 base going up to 6 base Protoss of Reynor. He's able to just bounce back from that. He's got 93 workers. He's got endless units. Now, the Broodlords will finish morphing, and they could turn this fight around. The Roach Ravager Ling going to try and rally over there. Broodlord's going to start to work on these Archons. Archons, little Tyrannosaurus Rexes with their tiny little arbs, unable to pleasure themselves or to do lethal damage to those Broodlords. They just cannot get in range with those tiny little hands. And because of that, he's going to have to fall back. Reynor starts blink. He's got air weapons. He's thinking about an air swap, but his Archons are getting picked off there. Zealots, if he could rotate into the main with a Zealot drop, that'd be great. I don't think this is going to do anything. Dark pretty well set up here on the defense. The +3 attack Zealots cleave through the Zerglings very quickly. My God, he's happy to trade. Reynor's got so much money. He's very happy to trade because he's got Dark back on 4 bases. He's like, yeah, man, I'll take a trade. Any trade's a good trade for me right now. Making more High Templar, more Archons. And of course, when the fight happens, if you just blanket the army in Storm and you have like even just 10 Stalkers to blink forward, you can focus the Broods down. So very important he gets blink out, considers going for that. And we've got more Zealots warping in. Oh, good move there for Dark. He does. Oh my God, the Archon's getting caught. Oh, Reynor with a bit of sloppy movement loses a few High Templar and Archons. A little bit sloppy there, but Dark is still absolutely the one who's broken this scenario. Zealot's going to run in on that right side. There's Banelings though. Big ball of Roach Banelings. Zealot's going to say nope. I think Prisms diving around the backside's a no-brainer. There's nothing that shoots up except 2 Queens. He's got 2 Warp Prisms. Or actually, he's lost the Prism on the left, didn't he? So he's only got 1 Prism. He's going to warp in the Stalkers. So Reynor's going to look to just overwhelm the army with the Storms, the Archons. He's got so much Storm, dude. 7 energy... 7 full energy High Templar. Oh my God. He's going to, rotates main army to the right. Zealot run by is going to hit the left. He says, okay, you've been defending the right really well, but Zealots are going to rotate. They're going to hit the left side. Very quick response for Dark. Is it quick enough though? Banelings coming forward. The Zealot's going to split into the different bases here to try and make it hard for the Banelings to find the efficiency. All the High Templar get caught. The Broodlords annihilate. Dark needs to stutter step these Broods though. They don't have anything. He's using the drones to help defend them right now. More Stalkers coming. This is a terrible angle that Reynor's taking the fight on, but his Zealots are doing huge damage in the back. 12 drones have already gone down, and there's going to be even more Queens falling as well. Really bad angled fight for Reynor though. Reynor is really far ahead and it shouldn't be so hard to finish this game, but he's lost all of his High Templar. Now he doesn't have Storm. He blinks into into Zergling Roach, and Reynor trying to force the issue there. And I believe he may be guilty there. A bit of an embarrassing moment. The victory should have already been his, and instead he clicks with his dick, gets a bit ahead of himself, and I mean, attacking with Archons, High Templar, Stalkers around this terrain, the Broodlords were in the perfect position. He needed to move his army up here and move down the ramp or move up this ramp, but he could not be attacking around the terrain where his units all got stuck on the corners of that, mate. Still no High Templar rebuilt, which means no range splash damage. He doesn't have the Storm to instantly clear the Ling Bane. It's a bit of a weird push for Reynor because he's down on army supply. So I feel like he's missed. I mean, it's like swap air or get some High Templar in here, but he doesn't want to give up the momentum and the tempo. He wants to just push right now. There's only 5 Broodlords. He gets one of them. He snaps it with the Stalkers and pulls back. That's definitely okay for him. There's not many Banelings here, but they get some mega hits on the Zealots. My God. Stalkers and Archons blink back in on the right side. Another Broodlord falls. Another Broodlord falls. The Bile's trying to punish, but there might just be too much Protoss, especially with the 3-2-2 upgrades. My God, the Broodlords are just getting overrun, and Reynor says, I don't even need Psystorm, dude. I have so much money, such good upgrades, and he does break the back of Dark on Moondance. Whoa, what the hell, guys? Reynor has swapped back to Zerg. He swapped back to Zerg. Now, I did not know. I haven't watched these games. So many people were requesting I cast this series. I didn't watch the games. I know the result, but I didn't look at a map-by-map racial breakdown. I thought it was all Protoss. Reynor's going 12 pool. Dark's going 12 pool. Okay. This shizzle is about to get very weird. Now, maybe Reynor says, I don't like playing PvZ on this map for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's a great, fantastic map for Protoss versus Zerg. It's not bad at all, but 12 pool versus 12 pool. Now, if either side pulls their drones, that's really bad for them, right? If you pull your drones, if you commit anything more than just the 8 or 10 Zerglings, it's going to be really rough. We'll see. Overlords are on the way. It looks like pretty standard play, but remember, you don't really know if they're going to pull drones until the Zerglings are about to pop out. Drones are a little slower than Zerglings, so you'll grab probably about 10, 11 drones, and you'll pull them just maybe 5 seconds before your Zerglings pop, so they can get a head start. The Lings will catch up with them, and you'll join up at the enemy base. 6 Lings on both sides. Dark's moving down to take a hatchery. Reynor is not. Reynor's going to pull the drones? Okay, no. He's going to go take the hatchery. Is Dark going to delay his 7th and 8th Zerglings? Nope. They both go 8 Zerglings before hatchery. All right, guys. It's 12 pool versus 12 pool. It's going to wash out and become a macro game from there. Okay. Who handles this better? They're both about to find out. They're both... Let's go to Reynor's camera. Reynor's looking. He sees the Zerglings. Dark immediately sees the Zerglings. So Dark's turned his Lings around. No gas for either player. They're just droning up, building queens. And Dark sets up a nice defensive formation. They've both committed to the exact same number of units. We should see an Overlord for both players. Identical follow-ups. This is logical. And let's see if either player messes up the micro here. Now, obviously, it would be really silly for Reynor to fight. He's down on the Zerglings because his only just built. And he's actually hidden his Lings. Oh, and he splits a Ling off for the Scout. I like it. He'd love to get a Scout because you're not sure if the other guy's got a gas. So both players are going to be very antsy to get some information in the follow-up. Reynor's going to be the first player to take a gas, whereas Dark is like drone, 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 make Evo, wall off with Roach Warren, and then just play Roaches from there. Now, the Queen here for Reynor should absolutely be pushing that Overlord back. I'm kind of surprised Reynor didn't send the Overlord around, replace it with this one, move this Overlord in, because you want to try and sneak in, see if you can see if it's drones popping out or Zerglings. That's definitely something you want to go for. Now, Dark's kind of lazy on the scouting. Other than that, no attempt to sneak a Zergling across, whereas Reynor, he has 2 Lings that he's going to try and actively poke in there for. So, to me, it feels like Reynor's playing a bit more safe here by getting the gas up earlier. He's thinking more about being a little responsible. He did build 2 extra Zerglings. No. Still just 10 versus 10. Never mind. Now, Dark, of course, has a 1-worker advantage because he hasn't taken the gas. But what is Reynor going to use the gas for? He could go 2 base meter. It's an option. Oh, Dark says, no vision for you, mate. Reynor's just going to have to back off with the Zergling. 100 gas. Does he make Ling speed? And there we go. Ling speed does go down for Reynor. He's going to start that. So he's going to get the map control a little bit. Dark, of course, has this small economic advantage. He's also got a 3rd Queen out. And when you see the creep spread, that's a huge tell. So when he says that sees the creep running down, he's going to know this is a gasless build most likely. So seeing that creep there for Reynor, that should be the tell that he needs to know. Oh, okay, you're just going to play a Roach Wall off now. Reynor probably going to move out and take a 3rd at any moment. Hasn't dropped a Baneling Nest, and I think he's unlikely to want to. He gets a Creep Tumor snipe. Very cute. Runs in, snipes a tumor. Dark immediately replaces it. No big deal. Dark still has not built a Roach Warren or put workers on gas. Going to be a very slow transition for him. That Overlord. Oh, pull it. Oh, Reynor changing directions. He could have kept that Overlord alive, but he messes up there. Loses it because he's dropping a Baneling Nest as well. Oh. I don't think the Baneling Nest is necessary at all here for Reynor. He sees no Ling speed upgrading. And it is indeed an Evo and a Roach Warren in the wall off. Dark up a few workers. Reynor takes a 3rd. Reynor cancels his Baneling Nest. Absolutely correct decision for him. And he's going to make a few more Lings just to do a little bit of a pressure. Deny Dark's 3rd base potentially. And behind that, he should be going for his own Evo and Roach Warren. Now, the question is, does Reynor go Carapace from here? I think it would be better for him to play +1 range in this scenario. But because he's already so heavy on the Lings, he very well may opt for it. Dark coming across with his slow Zerglings and realizing, shit. He knows they can't really match up. And he might get a cancel on the 3rd, though, if Reynor doesn't respect that. He might get a cancel on the 3rd. Roaches are in production. He's going to go for this. Okay, Reynor does respect it. Pulls some Lings back, so he is ready to deal with that. Gets a cancel on the 3rd. He's got his own Carapace on the way. Where's the Roach Warren, Reynor? You can't delay that any longer, dude. Reynor's being a little greedy. I'll be honest, guys, he's being a little greedy, and he also needs to hunt these Zerglings down, because otherwise, even though they're slowlings, they could cause him damage later. Roach Warren goes down for Reynor. Dark is just super patient. He starts Carapace! Dark is like, not only am I waiting for Roach speed, I'm waiting for Carapace 1-1, 44 drones, full 2 base economy. So Reynor, even though he has a 3rd, he's not ahead on economy. He's only now getting up a very small worker lead. Look at this. Dark's going to try and use the choke point behind the minerals. Clever micro by him. But Reynor with some good re-angling, repositioning, and he will crush that engagement. Only loses 1 or 2 Lings for the 10 Zerglings of Dark. Dark's going to move out and take his 3rd. Now, it's much later, so Reynor has all the flexibility in this game, right? And he's going to even deny the 3rd just to really force him. Does have to go back, loses a few more Lings because of that. More Lings trying to get in here, and he is going to run into that base. And he'll know there's no Nidus Worm or anything, but he's not really going to get any value. Oh, okay, only 1 drone there. There's a lot more Lings still on the map. He's swapping into Roaches, and a Lair is Reynor. He's got a lot of Lings out, though. Overseer does come in. Dark has a Changeling as well, which he's sending out front the base to see what's kind of coming out. The Lair will be able to be spotted that it's not finished, so he knows he's miles ahead on the tech, does Dark. He also saw Roaches popping out, though, so he knows that Reynor could do a big attack. Reynor building 6 more workers at this juncture. Spire goes down for Dark. That's a very clever play here. I think he realizes he's going to be outgunned on the economy. He can't really do a kill move against a guy who's massing Roachling with Carapace. Even though he's got the superior upgrades, it's like, yeah, I can't really push into that. I'll get surrounded, biled down, all that sort of stuff. The Overseer pops an eyeball out of its head there and does it again. That's hilarious. I think he just wanted to see the gas geyser, I guess, without risking the Overseer. He sees that it is not that many gases. So he's like, hey, no gas there, no gas there. That tells him that Reynor's only on 4 gases. So he's like, okay, it doesn't look like you want to go Spire with that layer that's finishing. Probably just going to be on lower tier units. And because Reynor doesn't have an Overseer, he has no idea about this Spire. Can he read into it? Maybe. If he was really dotting his I's, crossing his T's, playing safe, he'd build 2 more Queens right now. Because Queens are just always going to be a decent unit defensively. And the Overseer does get pushed back, but still not dead. 8 more drones on the way. Reynor, oh, if he did a big push, Reynor would be in a much better spot. If he just committed to a giant Roach Ravager Ling with the you know, just overwhelm, I think he could kill Dark. I think Dark is a little greedy here, but because Reynor's playing defensive and he doesn't know about the mutas, they're going to be a surprise. They're going to cause him a lot of trouble. It's going to make it very awkward for him on the defense. However, he does have the economy lead, does Reynor. He's still got the OV speed on the way now as well. He's building a lot of Roaches who will have a big enough ground army. But he's going to have to lose a bunch of Overlords on the map. He's going to have to very quickly build Queens, Spore Crawlers. And how many mutas are we? Are we just building 5? It looks like 5 mutas and going back to Roaches. So Dark wants to go for the minimal commitment of mutas just to clear up the map vision, force all that anti-air. And then he's probably just going to look for a 2-1 Roach all-in timing. Reynor should be able to get his 1-1 upgrades up in time, but he'll be so far behind on the +2 that his Roaches will not be as powerful. Now, Reynor's up in supply enough that technically he should be able to survive this, but that is a technically, isn't it? And the Queens, oh, diving straight on the worker line is Dark. He's got the magic number to one-shot drones. Very annoying to deal with. And already getting 5 workers there. Really well done by Dark. 4 workers, in fact. The Roaches go across the map for Reynor, but Reynor, this is not going to be a good move. This is not going to be, because the mutas are going to wear him down over time. And remember that there is an upgrade advantage right now for Dark. Ling's going the left, but Dark with a quick response. Reynor tries to pull the trigger. He does have a Roach advantage. Maybe he can make something of this, but the Queens have pulled over. Good positioning by Dark. The Lings pull back, and the Lings go back in on the left. Great fancy maneuver by Reynor as the Roaches fight over there. But good drone pull by Dark. His multitasking is always solid. And these mutas stacking up the damage, and that's where the value is going to come from. You know, it's one of those things you do, desperate to get the mutas off your back. You attack with the Roaches to force the mutas home, but I think he should have pulled back there. By committing to that fight, you can see he traded a lot worse. Dark's going to kill a lot of Roaches on the retreat as well. Reynor should still be alive in this game, but he's desperately trying to hang on. He started his +2 range. He's down in army supply by a lot. Yes, 10 of that's muta supply, which doesn't really count, but he's still down 15 Roaches. He's building Hydras, which you think, oh yeah, Hydras are good. They beat mutas, and they're good damage against the ground. Problem, they cost so much money. And even though you're up 5 workers, like, he's just going to kill you with Mass Roach. Dark is going to shove with Mass Roach. Reynor is going to need to hold a choke point or something. He's going to need some sort of defender's advantage because Dark is not droning. He doesn't even have a 4th base started. Yeah, he'll start it, but he knows he's got to go do damage. He's got 48 Roaches. It's an 18 Roach advantage right now. He's making Ravages. Dark's about to shove across this map. He's supply blocked on 186, so he feels like, okay, it's now or never. I've got to go. Reynor building Roaches. That's what he needs. He just needs Roaches to survive. He's got 6 Hydras, which can fight off the mutas, and his Lings are being annoying, but he sees this army coming. Reynor's almost maxed. I think Reynor, he can defend. He's not got +2, though, so it's all about the positioning. The Lings are going to get cornered here. Don't think that's the end of the world. Reynor's building a few drones and an infestation, though. He's got to realize that right now he is still down on supply and upgrades. He's got to take a good defensive angle over here. Dark is so committed to this push. Dark needs to find the damage. Because there's Hydras and upgrades coming in for those Hydras building up. Reynor not paying attention right now. He's sending his Hydras to defend, but dude, he could get overrun by this army. He does not want to run down that ramp. And this is not his entire army. He has so many Roaches on the left side. Reynor, as I said, he needs to hold a choke, but he lets Dark get into a big wide open area. The Ravagers break Reynor's concave. Very nice play by Dark, but Reynor with some good dodges. Doesn't eat too many of those. Trying to do some fancy little maneuvers, but the Biles, look at the Biles coming in. Just abusing these Roaches and Hydras in the choke point, and we see the weakness of the Roach Hydra army. I think the drones need to pull here. If he doesn't pull the drones early, then he's going to lose all of his damage output. Reynor, he needs to pull the drones. He's doing it too late. He's going to lose all of his Roaches. If you lose your firepower, then you lose the battle. If Reynor pulled those drones, he might have been able to hang on. Remember, he did a Ling run by there. He killed 7 drones. But Reynor just overwhelmed the Ravager Biles. Too good. If he pulled the drones there, I do think he might have been able to hang on. But you need to pull those early because they need to tank for your army. I think he set up a nice little surround. Did Reynor, but if he pulls the drones here, right now, A-move those drones, they would tank a lot of damage and maybe, just maybe, keep himself alive. Great timing for Dark, though. Look at this. +2 attack was about to kick in for Reynor. so bloody close. And the Lings were tearing up that mineral line. Dark's economy is really weak. Even if you lose 20 workers here, you end up on 45 versus 52. You're down on workers, but if you kill all those Ravagers, you're up on supply. So I do think Reynor missed an opportunity to pull those, but hats off to Dark. Those mutas, the clever muta switch, really getting him back in this game, and he ties up the series once again. Well, he tried swapping back to Zerg, and he says, screw that! And he goes back to Protoss. Reynor in the bottom left to Data C. Dark over on the right side. Now we've got a question. Buzzbender was saying, do you think Reynor playing Protoss against Zerg may have dulled some of his EvZ game sense? He's still very good, but against some of these very top Zergs might be just enough for him to lose. I absolutely agree. For those who don't know, he's been playing mostly Protoss versus Zerg recently. In GSL, he was forced to play only one race. So he locked in Zerg, and he didn't look as killer on his instincts against Dongray Gu. So yeah, I think there's definitely an argument there. And that's the thing is, like, StarCraft, you need so many repetitions, and there's so many narrow, tiny little decisions or reads or lack of understanding a situation. If you have that tiny little bit of extra understanding, it can make you win a situation you otherwise might lose. You know, there's a lot of cool details to that. Guys, Dark. Oh, Dark, very fancy. Reynor lets him get the hatchery down. So Reynor a bit too greedy to move in with the probe. Now, if he stayed for even another 4 or 5 seconds, that would be a disgustingly late hatchery. As it is, it's still a very late hatchery. Going 18 hatch is not ideal by any means. Dark should be going for a 19 Overlord to make this a more efficient opening. Let's see if he actually does it. It's Dark, so because the hatchery is going to finish so late, he won't be able to build anything out of the spawning pool like a queen here unless he gets an Overlord on 19. So let's see if he adjusts. He pulls 3 workers off gas, off minerals immediately onto gas. So very quick gas mining going up there. And should be an Overlord next. Let's see. Does Dark make the adjustment, or does he just play inefficient? He plays inefficient. No worries. He's just like, screw it. Just going to build my 2 queens at the same time. 10 seconds late. That's a very Dark decision to make there. Do we build an Overlord now on 20? No, he's just going to keep droning. Fair enough. Dark. Dark's openings, man. Dark's openings. You'd think, because he's one of the Zergs who goes 18 hatch more than any other Zerg, because he just forgets to send his drone out and stuff like that. But you can see here, this pool's been done for ages. Queens haven't started. Finally, Queens start at 2 minutes 11. When they're often starting at, I think, about 2:04. So definitely still takes damage from that pylon block. I don't think this is it's like, oh, I got my hatchery on location, get wrecked. But on the other hand, having a hatchery all the way out here is very annoying. So I'm not sure which one I would really prefer. Hatchery on location, but a bit late. Queen's a bit delayed, all that stuff, or the other way around. Now, it's a very crisp Ling speed timing. And Reynor saw that. So Reynor has to be wary of Ling Flood. And just the fact that if his adepts are out here, 3 minutes 20, 3 minutes 30, they could get surrounded and killed. Stargate is going up in the back of the base. Reynor, he's once again pretty light on his chronos. I notice he tends to be very light on his chronos. He spends these chronos a little bit late compared to a purely defensive Protoss that's like really just hitting probes, probe up the third. See what happens. Queen building there in the main. Overlord Pervin on the natural. Now the first Oracle is getting chronoed out. He's not building a Stalker. I think it was game 1 where he went straight for a Stalker. Used that to hunt down the Overlords. Deny the vision of Dark. Hasn't really been focusing on that since then. I'm a big fan of the Phoenix. I do like a Phoenix mixed in there. I think can be pretty damn awesome. It's not too expensive a unit, but can hunt down those Overlords all over the place. Second Oracle getting chrono boosted. Adept moving out to secure the third. Really sloppy Adept placement. That's better. Okay, there we go. This choke point here, you can get in between the minerals. This looks like there's a big choke, but as you can see, the Adept, she's actually very exposed there. So just not having the same knowledge, that choke and that choke, much better for the Adepts to hide in. Reynor, remember we said there was a fast Ling speed, so definitely a little dangerous. And let's see where he puts that pylon. Very good pylon placement. Oracle gets 2 drones, guys. It does stay a little bit long, though. But not too bad. Third Nexus does get up there. We got the third Oracle. Wow, and he's chronoing these Oracles non-stop, so he really wants to do damage with that. Twilight Council goes down off just 2 gateways. Evo Chamber on the way. Dark. Still waiting for him to mix in like a 50 drone Ling Bane attack or something like that. I really want to see him mix in one of those special Dark attacks. It didn't work in game 1. But still absolutely could. Oracles. Oh, they steer around. They get one. They get... only one. Not quite syncing up the shots there. So very good defense there by Dark. Pulling the drones away. The Queen's rotating. Up to 4 gateways pre-forge here is Reynor. Going up to the 3rd gas geyser as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see a forge and a robo in the near future. Okay, Oracle's going to dive one more time. He pulled back the weak one. Uses the healthy ones here. Bam. 4 drones just like that. Very nice. Dark focus fires the weak one though. That puts 2 Oracles deep in the red. Notice he always leaves one on defense duty. So he's always ready in case some Lings run in there. Forge does go down. 4th gas. Still no robo, which tells us this might just be Blink Stalkers and Oracles for days. Roach Warren is coming in now. 5 minutes 15 for Dark. Very slow Roach Warren, but he likes to get that greed on. And he's got the 4th hatchery started at the 5-minute mark, keeping pace with the greed of the Protoss player. It's going to be a very even mid-game. This really should show us who's better in a straight-up macro game. No big leads for either player just yet. Oh, Oracle turns on its laser. Doesn't do shit there. It's a bit lazy there. Does turn it off, though. Good attention to detail for Reynor. And those other 2 Oracles still roaming about the map. Lots of Zerglings building off 63 drones. So I think you could tell Dark's anticipating the Stalker push and he wants to be able to backstab. If he can run in, surround that battery, it'll be good. He also might be able to just run forward, shoot the Oracles with the Queens, Lynx around the Stalkers. Blink's not ready yet. So Reynor is being a bit naughty. Showing him an attack, scaring him a little bit. 6 gases. Reynor's playing Mega Macro. He's going to go Storm from here, I think. Right? To go 6 gases so early, unless he wants to go straight Disruptor, which I don't really see as Reynor's style. There we go. Templar Archives does go down. Oh, interesting style from Reynor. Dark's going into the Roaches. He's down 4 workers. Reynor sees no workers on the 4th. And he's like, ooh, what are you up to, boy? Why ain't you droning that 4th base? But it's just because he's scared, because he saw the Stalker move out before. Stalkers have gone home now. Oracles, look at that. Revelation on one of them. Cleans up some tumors. Nicely done, though. Queen's instantly replenished, though. Still no 4th. It's almost 7 minutes and still no 4th base. That's interesting. But seeing no drones on the 4th of Dark, I guess he just feels like, now he's moving out for it. Zergling not quite blocking that effectively. Storm does start up. Dark sees it instantly. Dark with some very good scouting. What's his response? Infestation. Infestation. He says, okay, we're going Hive. We're going Broodlords. He's got a 2nd Evo. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Baneling Nest. Where? Is he going to go Lurker? No, he's got Melee. Where's his Baneling Nest? Roachling, no Baneling Nest? What? Dark, are you drunk, bro? Are you just going to play with... And now he's going Hydras? Oh, Dark's all confused. Why are we playing... This doesn't make any sense. Dark's doing 2 very different build orders right now. It can work because he's had such good macro, but it's a very bizarre way to play heavy melee upgrade. I mean, he's got to get these range upgrades started, but a very different style for Dark, just kind of blending what looked like a Ravager Bane build, and now he's just like, you know what? You went Storm. Storm sucks versus Lurkers. I'm going to swap styles. So I'm pretty sure he was about to go Baneling Nest, or maybe stuff, but he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go Lurkers, man. I mean, it's a clever swap. See if Reynor can kind of get wind of it. So far, he has no idea. He hasn't seen any Banelings. He just sees a lot of Roachling. This really looks like a Ravagerling Bane build. What he might pick up on is that no gas has been spent on Ravager or Baneling morphs yet. The thing is, Zerg can always do that at the last second. I think Reynor, look, he's building a Phoenix. He's like, are you on muters? Because he's like, where's your gas? So he doesn't, he's, oh man. Now if Reynor goes like triple robo and really just sets up for the late game or goes straight to Sky Toss, he could do it. But right now he's expecting Dark to make a big play and Dark's just like, nope. And look, Reynor's almost completely walled in. This is his only opening right now. So he's unassailable, but he doesn't realize that this is just going to be a big lurker play. Yes, there's Banelings coming in behind it, but it's not a focus of his play by any means. And he's been banking all of his gas to make mass lurker. The Overseer is set up in the back of the base as well. He's building Phoenix, which are going to be near worthless. I mean, you could technically pick some lurkers up out of the ground with them, but... Ooh, I mean, Reynor needs to get out there and start pushing. He's making stasis traps. He needs to get pushing. He needs to get pressure on Dark to force him to morph Ravagers and Banelings. This is something we figured out early in Legacy, is that Ravagers are the best unit in the game at stopping aggression. They're so bullshit. But if you force them to make a lot of Ravages and then you just transition into the later game, those Ravages end up being dead weight at a certain point in the game. So there was this thing where we thought Ravages were the most unfair unit in the game because they stopped every all-in. And then we started realizing, hey, we can just show pressure, make them make a bunch of Ravages, spend all their gas on it, and we're already on our way to the next step. We were never even committing. It was a mind game. It was a feint. And, okay. Oracle pulls back to the left. 5 more gateways on the way. Reynor's got to be careful, man. It's already Lurker upgrades on the way. Going for those adaptive talons. Dark is in a pretty good spot. Where's his Hydras? His first 7 Lurkers are out. He's making Ultra. 7 Lurkers now into Ultras and Banes? What the hell? Dark is doing a little bit of everything. And you know what, guys? It's impossible to scout a player who doesn't even know what they're doing. And that's Dark's strategy right now. He says, hey, if I don't know what composition I'm playing, you can't possibly counter it, idiot. I'm kind of making Ravagerling Bane. Oh, wait, no, I'm making Lurkers. Oh, wait, now I'm making Ultras. He goes for a bit of a wild attack here, but those Lurkers, man, what are you going to do about it? This army cannot deal with Lurkers. There's just no way. He could deal with the rest of it, potentially. Oh, he does catch him on the Unburrow. Gets some good storms. Very good storms. Isn't enough, though. Oh, the Phoenix. Oh, my God. The Phoenix actually come in huge. There's a Zealot run by on the left as well. Dark with only 7 Lurkers. He didn't have enough Lurkers, and he tried to do the combat burrow to really get on top of the base. And he throws his Lurkers into the storms. The Phoenix pick up the last 4. The Zealot run by comes in. Reynor's like, oh, by the way, how many gateways do I have, Dark? 16! Dark's just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell, man? Meanwhile, Lurker drop in the main, comes in, hits the high ground. The cannons are in range of both of these, though, so a Zealot Warp-in is able to deal with it. Hot pickup, very nicely done. We've got Baneling drops coming around the backside, but can Dark stop the push at the front? I don't think he can. He was going for too much tech at once. He's got so much supply in Roaches, but then he wasn't even really upgrading those Roaches. Lurker drops can hit the natural. Baneling drops unable to go in right now. He's so frantically defending at the front. The Zealot run bys on the left side doing what they can as well. The Lurker still hasn't burrowed. Giant army on the front. The Phoenix still adding something to this. More Zealots trickling into that left side. Dark is unable to stabilize right now. He's in a desperate position. The Lurker still has not burrowed. Baneling drop's going to come on in there. They're going to drop some boom booms. Reynor, even in the midst of everything, still does a spread. He loses 14 probes, but that's not the end of the game. Lurker here is going to push him back. He has no detection on the front, but the Zealots are going to annihilate the 5th base. The Lurker finally burrows. Another 7 workers go down. The Baneling drop does pull back. Stalkers blink across. I had no idea they could blink from there to there, but apparently they can. Baneling drops hiding in the dead space, waiting for later. Zealots do take down Dark's 5th base. Dark has lost 22 workers, and he does not have the money to deal with it. The Phoenix hunting it all down. The Oracle comes in with the tag, with the laser. And, ooh, 1 Baneling does get 5 more probes, but that's still 86 probes for Reynor. An amazing High Templar Stalker arc on defense on that right side. Dark threw way too many units away and unable to utilize that very expensive Ultralist tech that he went for. He's got all the Hydra upgrades. He never got Seismic Spines for his Lurkers as well. I gotta think if he just doubled down on Mass Lurker Roach Hydra, that he could win this game. He could have shoved on this push and really done well, but he had too many Zerglings in his army. And yeah, where the hell were his Seismic Spines? He never made them. He's remade some Lurkers, but he's completely forgotten the range upgrade. Difference between an 8 range Lurker and a 10 range Lurker is very big. Reynor's got complete map dominance at this point. He's got 2 observers out, so he's able to start clearing up all these creep tumors, pushing Dark back into that dark little corner. Fleet Beacon +2 plasma shields is on the way, or as well as +1 ground armor. Baneling's getting ready for a run by on the right side, but there's cannons and a High Templar that kind of are covering the space. 1 more cannon down here would really make it easy to defend. Here we go. He's thinking about poking the front. The Lurkers and the Spores are going to make it hard to push in, though. But good job clearing up the creep. Dark's going to try and just recover and hang on. He's going to need some sick engagements, similar to game 1, down 20 workers. I really feel like Reynor did not understand what Dark was going for this game. And we did point out, right? I did say if you don't understand what you're doing, your opponent can't really scout it because nothing makes sense. And that's kind of what Dark did in this game. He went for very different styles that are kind of mismatched, blended them together in his own weird artistic impersonation as EVP. Does get a nice Baneling run by and gets 9 probes. But yeah, if he doubled down on the, hey, Lurkers counter Psystorm, I mean, I really do think he could have killed Reynor, but Dark getting too fancy for his own good. He's now going to be in that desperate, I'm making 400 Lurkers, but I don't realize that I forgot to make Seismic Spines, man. Oh, man, he's going to go for that big 20 Lurker shove. The Hail Mary that he always does. maybe a Nidus Worm this time would give it a bigger chance of working. But if he doesn't realize the upgrade's missing, that's going to be a big problem. Very rare you realize the upgrade's missing in the middle of the combat as well, because it's kind of hard to see where lurkers are attacking. I mean, you don't really see how far the attack goes. It's just kind of like, yeah, they're shooting, they're doing stuff. It's only if your opponent's standing on the edge of range a lot, picking at you, that you might to start notice, hey, why is it not shooting those units? Pathogen Glands, Kindness Plating, +1 Carapace, +3 range. Just going to get a very good army up off of these 4 bases is Dark. But of course they are going to start running out of money. The Natural down to 8 workers, Main down to 8 workers, Third down to 12 on the minerals, that is. Stalkers try to go forward. Looks like they blinked in, killed a lurker. Nice army rotations by Reynor. He's got to watch out. More Banelings on the bottom right, but double stasis, Oracle, and cannons. Easy defense down there for Reynor. 1 stasis. And oh, that one goes right past. Does depower some cannons, but you can easy repower that. Rebuild some more cannons and Oracles down here as well. The Oracle will regen energy. Dark trying to move a lurker around. That one's going to get caught out. Bit of a mistake. The lurkers. Oh, he tries to set up a bit of a cheeky rotate, hoping that Reynor would stumble into him. Not quite able to get it. Oh my god, Reynor's going to try and take this base. Okay, I think Reynor might even build some Tempest just to pick it in, but I think Carriers is the better call because there's nothing that shoots up 4 Hydras and 4 Queens and 2 Hydras. Is not going to do it. He's even turning all those Hydras into lurkers, so yeah, Dark is absolutely going to go for a lurker all-in. I mean, there's a lot of Stalkers, and Stalkers do suck versus lurkers. We saw that earlier in the series as well. Stasis traps continuing to go down. Lings working their way around the backside. Oracle's going to try and pick off as many of those as possible, but the cannons will spell doom. Lurkers still in large numbers. Zealot's running on that left side. He's going to try and flank in. That's a lot of lurkers. They do not have the range upgrade, remember. A big oversight from Dark. The Zealots on the left get cleaned up, though. Reynor is held back for it now. Banelings and Lings constantly trying to work this angle on the bottom right, not really finding anything. 4 Carriers are on the way. Reynor's still on 86 probes versus 70 drones, but Dark, hey, he doesn't die easy. He's establishing a base in the top left, and if Reynor lets this one slip away, he'll be very upset. He'll be tilted. Be a real moral victory for Dark. Even just right now hanging in there and making it hard for his opponent, he's just kind of continuing that legacy of, hey, I'm Dark and I never go down easy. Baneling's not really finding too much work. Okay, Psystorm does land on some of these lurkers. Takes 3 full Psystorms to kill a lurker. For those who don't know, that's 12 seconds. Takes about, I think, 11 seconds of sitting in Psystorm before the lurker dies. Maybe 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds of sitting in Psystorm. So definitely not a very quick way of taking them down. 200 hit point bad boys. More Banelings morphing. Gonna run in from that angle. Might find the worker line finally, but does Reynor care? At this point, Reynor should be happy to lose probes. He's already got a 10,000 resource bank. He also should be getting rid of the Stalkers. They're trash units at this point. Ah, Stasis Trap, though. Stasis Trap's blocking Dark's run-bys at every turn. Almost 2-to-1 cost efficiency in Reynor's favor as his first 5 carriers hit the field. 2 more are on the way. And he's got +3 air weapons upgrading, of course. Only +1 armor so far. Second Cybercore not quite rolling. And here we go. He's just going to walk in with the carriers. He's like, oh, by the way, checkmate. 3 carriers. There's nothing that shoots up, mate. There's nothing here. Microbial Shroud, 4 Queens. He just doesn't have anti-air. Remember, guys, he's made 21 lurkers. It was one big crazy all-in. Banelings finally find some probes down there, but yeah, he's just looking for the massive lurker all, and he's trying to mass infester right now, but there's no spores. If he had like 10, 15 spores here, I could see him holding on. Psystorms do damage interceptors, so you got to be a little wary on that one, but they do also clear through the other units. The Observers derping through into the Static D. Where are all the lurkers, man? Where are they? He's lost them all. Only 10 lurkers left. They just all got cleared out, and the lurkers are going to try and shove over here, but this base almost certainly going to go down. The lurkers will defend for now. Nice little fungal there, and the spores are starting to pick off some interceptors. Reynor says, you know what? Let's just make Zealots and shove in the right side, because I bet you pulled every lurker to the left, and indeed Dark did. Zealot warp in, Zealot A move. A couple Zerglings and Infestors. Will we see some desperation fungals? Yes, we will. But Dark knows he just does not have the material to hang on. An impressive hold from Reynor in a game where Dark did a nonsensical tech switch, which I called it that. But then it really made sense once I figured it out, right? I was like, oh, you're countering the Storm Turtle style because you made it look like you're going Ravagers. And it was actually really clever and cool, but if only he doubled down to it. I think at this point, we could see he started to get way too fancy. If you look at the production tab, he's swapping back into Banelings and Hydras and Baneling drops, and he's going to go ultras. So he starts just doing so many things at once, right? And this is where things just get a bit muddled. He forgets his lurker upgrade. He stops making more lurkers, which he absolutely... he could have even killed some roaches. Starts going ultras, a third evo chamber, as if that's ever a priority in this scenario when you're about to finish +3 melee and start upgrades on that anyway. And even then, I still think this is such a hard push for Reynor to deal with because his cannons weren't up yet. If he had his cannons with Psystorm behind him, it'd be great. But look at this. The lurkers are real deadly. But he pulls away and he pulls down just out of lurker range, gets rid of big storms and stuff on the army. And then look at that. You burrow, you move forward, and he blankets him with storm. And then he pulls back again. Now, these Banelings do get in here, and he's a little bit slow to drop some extra Psystorms there. Few of those Banelings get on, but he morphs Archons. Phoenix come in, pick up the lurkers. And what looked like a really hard spot turned into just an absolutely game-deciding hold here for Reynor. Put him massively in the lead. He swung across, killed a shitload of workers. The Zealots were hitting at the same time, and what looked like a really cool setup for Dark suddenly turned into, oh god, apparently having an army of 60% Zerglings is not that powerful. You know, he has 2 lurkers coming in for a drop. He has these really cool harassment moves coming in afterwards. But you've got to ask the question, shit man, maybe those units should have been in the army, or maybe that army fight simply should have been handled a bit more cautiously. Bit too cavalier for Dark, and Reynor now up 3-2 in the best of 7. All right. 1 game away from closing out the grand finals. And you know what's crazy, guys? Who knows? What if it would have been 4-1 already if he played Protoss on Inside Out? It could have been, right? Instead of playing Zerg like a silly Billy. Reynor in the top right side. He's had some very good games. I do think he was in a scary position in that last game. I think things could have gone very bad for him very quickly. But a great hold on his 5th base. And Dark finds himself now in deep waters. And what does Dark do from here? Does he play standard, or does he just go back to like the gimmick builds? Is he? I've been surprised by how few crazy gimmicks and weird plays out of him there were. Now this is good to see. Dark sending his drone out so early. That's really good attention to detail. Allows him to get his hatchery down. On, wait, what? 17? Oh, it's a 17 hatch. Okay, it's not that efficient. Never mind. Here I am, like he's getting it down right on 16 supply. Then I'm like, wait, he's already built a 17th drone. Ah, well. Not perfect, but nowhere near as bad as having that hatchery blocked. And Reynor's continuing to play very safe, as if he's worried about 12 pool with the early probe. I mean, it does allow him to harass, but I guess I am just a little surprised there's no gas first. I do think part of the reason is that if you play a no scout build, sometimes the Zerg players will do these like Ling Flood drone drill all-ins because your probe isn't there to spot for it. You've kind of still got to do probably a post Cybercore scout to be safe against that stuff, but nonetheless can be a very effective opening. 20 Nexus, 20 Cybercore guys. This is your rock solid standard PvZ build. That is not a good wall off. It's a diagonal, which means an Adept there will have Lings be able to get past it very easily. So second gas, and then the 22-second pylon. You'll see another probe queue up here. And then the pylon will go down after that. Is he getting any damage done with the probe? You can see he interrupted a little bit of mining there. But Dark's microing it pretty well. One of his workers did just get bounced off, though. So notice how Reynor just stole this mineral patch from him for about 5-6 seconds. Pretty good play for Reynor there. And definitely feel like he got the edge there. But his own probe's not being managed at home perfectly either. So they're going to bounce around trying to find a home. This guy's here going to get bounced off, most likely. Ooh, if he doesn't fix that, these guys have actually stacked up perfectly, which is not good. These 3 workers. He needs one of those to get over on this patch. Otherwise, they're just going to be mining less efficiently than normal for this whole game, potentially. It's one of those little things, which, yeah, it's just going to cost him. Because these probes are constantly waiting behind each other while this guy is working on his own Nigel No Friends probe there. So small mistake there. Let's check Dark's mining. I know this is like really small details, but Dark's mining is perfect now. So even though it was interrupted a little at the start, it's all good. Goes for the 3rd hatch, and he might be able to get this probe. Just 2 more hits, and he's going to get one. Oh, yeah. I think he's going to kill that before the shields. But pulls back. Doesn't want to lose it to the Adept. Little does he know that the Adept shaded backwards. It's hiding outside of that Overlord's vision. Very cute play. Reynor's got the Oracle on the way. So far, things look pretty standard for Dark. No attempts for Ling Floods, drone drills, anything like that. Reynor's been so active with his probe scout, and I guess that's why the Adept does go out and then decides to come on back to the wall. I think he wants to group them up. Or maybe not. Okay, he realizes that's a terrible wall off, and he's actually going to shade his Adepts inside. He's a little bit worried. Reynor thinking he might get busted here, I guess. if Reynor can 4-2 Dark in a big grand finals, I mean, it's not I say a big grand finals. I mean, like, this is like the biggest sort of online tournament you guys are going to get, right? It's a $5,000 tournament. Maybe not the biggest, right? Because King of Battles was online, but in the post-COVID era, most tournaments bigger than this are held at LAN. So this is a, you know, $5,000 weekender tournament online. It's a pretty big amount of prize money, and definitely the players are carrying a lot. You guys know what's the craziest about this? Dark did his holdout challenge before playing this. So he got up early this day, the day that they played this. He got up early, played the holdout challenge, and then, like, that was like 8 a.m., maybe 9. I think that was 9 a.m. Korean time. And then he started playing this at like maybe 9 p.m., maybe 7 p.m. Korean time in the evening, and was playing till like 4 a.m. or something. So it's actually a crazy day of StarCraft for Dark, warming up, beating noobs, into playing Reynor in the finals. 7 probes. I think that's worth losing an Oracle, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy to trade an Oracle for that. I'm like, yep, no worries. I mean, if I could just press a button right now as Reynor, boom, kill 7. Boom, kill 7, put him down at like 30 workers. I'd take it. I'd take it as the Protoss player, and I'd just keep building oracles and doing that over and over again. Now, 45 drones are up for Dark. He's got the melee. No layer started just yet. He's going to go Ling Bane. Whoa, hello. He's going to try and play the pure Ling Bane, and it is Blink, which is good for him. I think if it was charged for Reynor, Dark would be in big trouble, especially after that early bit of damage. Adepts are going to shade in from the left side. There's only 2 Lings out right now. Oracles get 1, 2, 3. Oh, he could have got even more because there were no queens in position. They were so worried about the Adepts. The Adepts... Oh, he tries to block with the Spore Crawler. Doesn't manage to get that one off. The Adepts are going to grab 2 kills. Maybe get a 3rd as well. Not bad, yeah. Oh, he gets a 4th even. Very well done. And the Adept could even have continued to be microed since Dark. Wow, he's taking a lot of damage. The Oracle's getting even more. Oh, my lord. That's huge. That Oracle derping out real hard, man. Oh, beautiful micro by Reynor. Guys, he just butchered him. Dark is going to do the desperate Ling Bane all-in. The 50 drone Ling Bane all-in. He's already lost 21 workers, so it's turned into a 40 drone Ling Bane all-in. It's basically one desperate Baneling bust, last-ditch effort. I mean, otherwise he's dead, and he should probably be dead here. Reynor realizes he's just done so much damage. This is basically game over. He's got him pinned, but he somehow misses this. And, ooh, he doesn't have much Oracle energy. Uh-oh. Baneling's coming in. He's going to have to run these probes real quick. Reynor, watch out, buddy. Watch out. Reynor's not watching. Oh, spready. Oh, gymnastics. Good gymnastics so far for Reynor. But here we go. The Ling's coming in behind it. He's got no Oracle energy. He starts an Oracle. Those probes need to get out of there. Get those probes out of there. He's trying to fight with the probes, but the Baneling gets a big boomy. A big boomy from the Baneling. There's only 4 gateways there. The Oracle's about to run out of energy. It runs out of juice. The Lings are finding the damage. Dark getting himself back in this game. Not a good Zealot warp in location. It should have been in the choke point. Warping in there has given up control of his 3rd base, and that's a disaster. He's still up on economy. He can still definitely do some things here, but losing that 3rd is so huge. He's making a Robo and Twilight on 2 base. These probes need to pull inside his wall. A massive mistake for Reynor there, just getting caught out. And Dark, I mean, he does this random Ling Bane time, and it's just the Oracles, they spent too much juice. And this is something even the most expert Protoss players forget. If you are running your Oracles dry like that, you need to build another Oracle. If you're finding damage like that, you need to build another Oracle and another Oracle. It's one of those things you've got to watch out for. He's still up on workers, but... Oh my god, he's not done yet. Oh my god, he's going to go again. Dark, you absolute mad lad. The Stalker blinks in, but that pylon's going to go down. That is not a wall off. That is not a wall off. Reynor tries to blink to create a wall off, but oh no, the Stalkers are getting surrounded. Dark says, I will not be perturbed. I will get inside that base. Any hole's a goal for these Zerglings, and Reynor, mate, you got a mighty fine hole. The Zerglings get on in there. The Oracle's going to turn on their lasers. Good probe micro so far by Reynor. He's going to try and pull back. Remember, Reynor did massive damage earlier in this game. He might still be in this. There's a few more Lings coming across, but if he could stabilize here and get a 3rd rebuilt, that could be huge. Lings coming in again. Reynor needs some more Stalkers. Good warp in at the front. Very good warp in at the front. He's got a 3rd base rebuilding. Dark doesn't know about it. Otherwise, he could have got a quick cancel on that. Dark is still ahead. He's up 7 or 8 workers here. Make it 10, 11 workers, in fact. The 3 Oracles are still roaming, but they're wounded. They're low on energy, and there's spores up in every base, which means no easy targets. Yeah, not worth it. He sees a couple drones on the 4th. Definitely feels his heart sink a little bit there, does Reynor. And he's going to have to struggle to try and fight it on out. 4 gateways continuing to warp in more and more Stalkers. Looks like he might just be... I mean, if he just shoves with Stalkers, he might be able to get something done with Micro. 10 more drones on the way. Dark's playing very greedy. Archon's morphing in as well. +2 melee on the way. I mean, I think a bit of greed is good. As long as Dark goes back into Roaches now. He builds 5 more drones. Are you kidding me? My God, Dark. Dark's playing so fast and loose today. I say loose because his opening was absolute bollocks, but this is something Dark's been doing regularly. Even in online cups versus players who he's massively favored versus guys, he often gets way behind and he always all-ins if he takes a lot of damage like that. And that's something that Reynor maybe should have been aware of, but just not noticing those Banelings morph. If his Oracles came back, use that energy to gun down the Banelings instead of the Zerglings. The Stalker's gotten some nice positions, warped in a few Zealots. Might have been able to hang on, but the Stalkers just do not do well versus mass Zerglings. Reynor got caught off. He's now going to try and macro up to Psystorm. Dark is going to do some of the most random shit I've seen in a while, guys. He's going to go for a 4-base Roach. Oh, no. Okay, it's Swarmhost. I was going to say, you're doing a Roach Zergling Queen Nidus at 10 minutes? I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Nidus Swarmhost, on the other hand, a fantastic play. Nidus Swarmhost is never not good. If they've got like some Void Rays out, it's kind of hard because they can really hunt down the Nidus Worms. But if he can get his first Nidus Worm here, Locust Wave kills the main base, and then start popping them down here, out the front. These Locusts are going to get massive damage. Storm is pretty horrendous at dealing with this. Reynor's really thinking about a traditional ground army right now. He's trying to defend this bare bones, cannon, battery, stasis trap. And that Nidus in the main, man, that is going to really be something that just makes his heart sink. He knows when that pops and kills his main, he might just tap out right there and then. Because he doesn't have a mobile army, he can't really push out and counter-punish it. And Dark, there we go. He's going to pop it out inside the main base. The Swarm Host's going to try and throw it in. The Phoenix, not really going to be able to do jack to defend that. Probes will run away. There's a cannon in the battery. Phoenix damages a Locust, but that's about it. Battery overcharge immediately activated, trying to keep this alive, but just don't think there's any way. Is there? No way. No way! Holy shit! Reynor with a sick reaction! The Phoenix lifts, the Stalker's picking off the Locusts, the battery overcharge instantly. Problem for him, though, is he's going to have to defend another base, and he won't have battery overcharge for the next wave, I don't think. No, he will not. It's not all of his Locusts, but it's still enough to do some very real damage. A lot of his units still up in the main. This base under assault. He's got a stasis trap, but it's not really in position. Oh, good Storm. Good Storm. Amazing defense by Reynor. Oh, shit. Dark better put his pedal to the metal, dude. He's not getting the damage done. On the other hand, he's got an insane work account. I don't think it matters. He's got 16 Swarmos, and he's gone Hydra Den. If he drops the Lurker Den, once again, it's Storm and Stalkers and Archons versus Lurkers. And I told you guys, that army cannot deal with Lurkers unless you take a terrible fight like he did on Data C. Great stasis trap. Holds back the Roach advance just temporarily. Looks like he might just throw Locusts over the top. Nope, he's going to throw on this bottom base. Okay. Waits for the whole wave. That's 16 Swarmos, 32 Locusts, and they are big damage dealers, those units are. The army is split up, but uh-oh, Reynor, watch out! Watch out, Reynor! Oh no! The High Templar get jumped on! Oh, that's a disaster, mate! It's a disaster. The High Templar, all that bagged Storm energy go down. Oh no, Dark just doing so much to him in so many different places at once and losing the High Templar and 11 probes. Suddenly what looked like the beginning of an amazing hold and defensive setup now looks very, very rough for Reynor. Overseer will eventually go down to the Phoenix. The Oracle will need to turn on its laser beam. Reynor's got a lot of things to manage all at once. His base is in shambles, but oh, he doesn't realize it straight away. Uh-oh. I think it should be good enough, though. I don't think there's any Swarm Hosts in there. The Nidus creep growth coming out the bottom of that Nidus from the moment it starts. The Nidus Worm does go down. Locusts in the bottom side. Cannons and batteries, not to mention the Nexus itself. All are in dire strife. Dire straits, dire strife. A bit of strife, some dire straits, mate. He's dead. He's dead. Reynor's fourth goes down. He's got a good army of High Templar Stalker, but Lurker Den should be coming. Wait, is he just playing Hydra Bane? Where's his Lurker Den, man? His Lurker Den's up, but he's not remembered his upgrades. Dark definitely doing great tactical maneuvers, but he does need to remember to queue those upgrades. Just making a big bunch of Lurkers would be the way to go. He's still always going Adaptive Talons as the priority rather than Seismic Spines, the opposite of just about every other Zerg player in the world. The Wing's trying to come in. Good micro by Reynor. He's so good at these little defensive setups. The Locusts are going to hit this north base, though. He doesn't even have a single Storm. Get out of there, Reynor! Run! Run! The Archons. Look at that. He spreads the Locusts, but will jump on top. High Templar's going to fall there. And 2 more Templar walk in. Oh, no, that's not good, man. That's not good. Army on the bottom is deflected. Reynor defending like such an experienced Protoss player. I really admire when he's up against the wall. He hangs on so efficiently, and I feel like deep in his soul there's a part of his Zerg brain that has let some wins slip away from him versus Protoss players over the years, where he's walked into storms and stasis traps and this sort of stuff. And he said to himself, Protoss is bullshit. It's really, really bullshit. And I think in his heart of heart, there's a part of him that just believes that. And that's what he's channeling right now. Reynor's like, if I can do enough of those bullshit things that I've gotten annoyed about in the past, maybe, just maybe, I can fight my way back into this game. Locusts are going to land. Oh, he sets off the stasis with just 3 locusts, then comes in with the big jump. Very nice play by Dark. Still only grabs a few cannons, though. The battery overcharge really helping, as well as that Stalker blink back. Reynor's almost maxed out. He's got charge on the way. Ultra Cavern's coming in. Where is the mass lurker play? I feel like, once again, we're seeing Dark kind of go in a lot of directions at once. I think part of it's because these roaches, he just can't find a way to get rid of them in an efficient manner. So they're wasting a lot of supply that he wants to replace with lurkers right now. And he really needs to kind of get those off the map so he can get more lurkers and just win the game. I wouldn't mind him sieging the wall. There is another stasis trap. Let's see if Dark does that trick to land just a few of these locusts on the stasis trap. Yep, lands a couple of them down. Does try to land the others, but extra stasis traps, cannons, storms on the roaches. Pretty good defense here by Reynor. And yeah, oh, that storm didn't quite land, but does kind of punish him on the retreat. An Archon goes down, but so do a lot of roaches. Baneling's on the north. Uh-oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Ow, wow, 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 wow. Okay, okay. Only loses 5 probes. Could have been worse there for Reynor. Reynor's got a lot of gateways out. He's on 84. He's on 84 probes, and he's still rebuilding them even as we speak. He's like, kill as many as you want, mate. I've got a double discount bloody bargain hunter on them. He needs some robos, though. He really needs to get some immortals out to deal with those lurkers, I do believe. Mass Stalker, Psystorm, not bad versus the roaches, the hydras, the banes. But once the lurkers are out, we keep talking about it. For some reason, he's taken a while to get his lurker count up. Dark's finally there. He's still got those 16 swarmos that are going to keep trading on Reynor. But Reynor, he's just looking for the angle now on this counterattack. He's got Phoenix there. He's got a little squad of Stalkers on the bottom. Oh, look at that. He picks off some Hydras. Does lose a few Stalkers for it. But even there, just the fact that he's focus firing units like always, right? There's no time when he's not focus firing. Whoa, Lurkers! Hold fire, Lurkers! Watch out, Reynor! Watch out! Oh, Dark activates! He says, hold, hold! And then he fires as Reynor blinks forward. And what a big play that is. It was 31 Stalkers a second ago, down to 14, man. Dude, I was just grabbing my own, I like grabbed my own heart, like hand to my chest as I saw that. I was like, I was so excited and freaked out and panicked for Reynor all at once. But Dark, now he comes in. The Lurker Hammer is here. The Swarmo's adding on top of it. And as we said, you can't deal with Lurkers with Psystorm, mate. That's just not going to work out for you, man. Oh my god. Who the heck throws a shoe? Who the heck kills me with Knight of Swarmos into Lurker, says Reynor. Dark smiles and says, that'd be me, dickhead. By the way, you remember when you killed 22 drones at the start of this game? This should have been yours, idiot. And you know Dark is sending that message right now. You know he's going to drop it in the lobby for the game number 7 that's about to come. You know he's going to be like, hey, Reynor, you know you killed all my shit at the start and should have won this game, right? Reynor is not going to be happy that he let this one slip away after such a good early game. Could have been showing his first Protoss win in a tournament, in a major tournament. $5,000, that does make it a major tournament, guys. Premier being the $10,000 plus category above that one. But look at this, dude. It's just an endless stream of units. Reynor's economy is still at 90 probes. I can't believe it. He transfers it. He's got 36 probes on this base. He's somehow still hanging on. Dude, just can't you just die? Like, if I was Dark right now, I'd be like, how are you still in this game? Just die, dude. He's like, I have unlimited money, man. He's always so good at just falling back and defending and absorbing those punches. And a couple of Lings come in and clear out some probes. They're like, hey, we'd like to free up some supply for your army. But he's not really mining a lot of gas right now, Reynor. Baneling, Lurker, Ling coming in on this top side. Reynor does not have the army to deal with it. And he has to tap out. We are going to that big game 7. All right, we're going to game number 7. And oh my god, he did not go down easy in that one. But dude, I mean, he got to experience the most frustrating part of Dark's game. This is Reynor down here representing Kaizi Gaming up against Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Dark's most annoying part of his game is when he falls way behind and then just instantly does this silly all-in, gets right back in. And that Ling Bane one, I have been criticizing and laughing about that all-in because it technically shouldn't work on paper for years. I remember years ago, I think it was like, maybe I was talking to Showtime on the Pig Show, my podcast I only did a few episodes of years back. It's, I think he was going to be preparing for Dark in a big tournament, and I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, you got to watch out for that, you know, that random 50 drone, I'm just going to make Ling Bane, and then like dodge your oracles and just crash into your natural and third at the same time move that Dark does. And I remember Showtime was just kind of like, yeah, it's the silliest thing ever, but it always kills people. And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad you're aware of this because like he's been doing it for like 4 years, man. He's been doing it for so many years as Dark. And like, it's something whenever you're playing against Dark as a Protoss player, you're like, all right, got to remember he has some really silly moves that he can pull out. Now, guys, this is a gas first build order, by the way, right? So notice that Reynor's been mining the gas. I didn't actually pay attention. I think it was gas first. It would make sense. Since he's not scouting, Reynor here in Game 7 is going to play very greedy. Now, he should scout after the Cybercore because otherwise Dark could do like a really weird Ling Flood or Drone Drill all in. So I'd like to see him scout post Cybercore. It's something I've learned recently because I've been doing a lot of no scout builds, gas first, and Dark Reynor, sorry, is much smarter than me. He's not gonna. I threw like so many ladder games to it before I realized, okay, you do have to. You can't wait for the adept. You have to send the probe just to check they're not massing circlings, man. All right, so Cosmic Sapphire is a very big map. Very good choice, I think, to go for this build order here. You can technically wall off with 2 buildings, but he's opted for the 3 building wall off, which is fair enough. I think he's gonna have a bit of an awkward one, where he's going to have an opening to the pylon. So it's not going to be the best wall off, but not the worst. Adept starts up, Stargate immediately on 2 minutes 13. So you can get a very quick Oracle. He's also chrono boosting probes nice and early here in the main. And I think we'll probably see a chrono on the natural. He's also not going to bother chronoing Adepts, is Reynor. And that's because his Stargate's going to finish so early, as well as his natural, that he's just going to be putting all his money into probes and Oracles early on. Third base does start up. Where's that Ling speed? Dark's delayed his Ling speed a lot. Oh, okay. And you know what, guys? It makes sense because he sees no chrono on the gateway. So he knows, hey, if you don't chrono the gateway, it means you're not being aggressive with the adept. I can skip Ling speed. Or at least delay it for like 30, 40 seconds. Oh, Dark's little detailed adjustments are so clever, man. So clever. Now, technically, they could still shade 2 adepts across, but if they're not chronoing it, I mean, they're going to be coming across when, for all Reynor knows, Ling speed should be finishing at 3:30. That's the standard timing. Little does he know, Dark just started it, and this is going to be like a 4-minute 10, 4-minute 20 Ling speed. Really cool adjustment, just being a bit greedier than normal. Getting away with it. Okay, Reynor building the Oracle there. We got the second gateway in the wall off. More probes are on the way. Pylon on the high ground as well. Ooh, look at this. Lots of queens in production. 4 queens out, 5th queen building. Skipping on the spores for the early game. But I think his Lings should spot this Oracle. So he sees it. Dark should be well positioned. Builds the spore in the main. Notice this spore doesn't really block the mining. It's very cute. That spore placement. Very, very nice. And here we go. Queen's moving in. Creating a barrier. No way past that. Great queen movement by Dark. Oracle can't find an opening. Third base goes down on location there for Reynor. The only way a third base can go down if it's not a Terran player, Pig. The time when you're commentating on autopilot, you're like, he throws the third on location. He's not building the Nexus in the main to float it down. It's been an exciting series. You guys are going to have to bear with me. Evo Chambers just started up there. Oracles are going to take out a couple of drones on the transfer. Good spore trick there. Ooh, nice cancel and rebuild on the spore to make sure the Oracles couldn't get it. Oracles do get a creep tumor in the main. Can they grab? Nah, good pull by Dark. He's going to dive anyway. Oh, Reynor getting very excited there. Ooh, good split, good split. Splits that Oracle to the backside where it can't get taken out. He's got a third Oracle as well. It's hanging out above the third. And there we go, the Twilight Council goes down. Now, so far, Dark is just droning. He's looking pretty healthy. He's lost 4 drones only. That's all the damage that's happened. 2 Adepts are going to join in now, though. This is always a point where, like, you got 2-3 Oracles causing a bit of a ruckus, and then you add in 2 Adepts as well. It can cause some trouble. Ooh, hold position, that Adept, mate. He's warping in some Stalkers. Good. He should be solid on the D there. Adept's going to dive in that right side. Ling's frantically trying to get back, realizing he's left a bit of an opening here. Oracles, uh-oh. They're going to need to just get out of there, man. Oh, no, they're going to just dive. Oracles get 5. Oh my god, them plus the Adepts, 7 kills. The Adepts do get surrounded there. An Oracle and 2 Adepts for 10 drones. Not bad, not bad. I'd take it. I think that's an acceptable trade. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, guns blazing, I'm winning this game. Because it is 2 Adepts and an Oracle. You can see on the units lost tab, it's not like it's a massive lead. And the worker count's still even. Dark, very quick to recover from that sort of damage. Forge is now on the way. I like that he's building extra Oracles, guys. If you dive and spend a lot of energy, you can be vulnerable to the counterattack. So he's still building Oracles. Reynor realizing that mistake from the last game, not having any Oracle energy. 4th gas is up, and still he's on, what, 4 gateways now. Not bad. 4 gateways is pretty solid. A couple of Lings dancing around, Oracles on this north side coming forward. 4th base started about 5:30, so not a bad 4th base timing. There's also a Roachron and a Lair coming up. No quick tech for Dark, but it's acceptable. And straight to 6 gases. Reynor's been enjoying the heavier gas play, not looking for the crazy fast 4th so much anymore. This is a good chance of going to the macro game. I really think we might be heading there. Now, we have seen a lot of Dark play the early melee, play the Roaches, but not commit to Ravager Bane. And that is a sort of reaction to the fact that Reynor's not leading into the Stalker pressure. I think if he goes very aggressive on Stalkers, we'll see Ravager Bane. But as long as he plays defensive, I think Dark says, hey, Ravager Bane's too much of a short-term unit comp. I am going to go for the Lurkers. That's being consistent, is the moment you're playing defensive, I'm playing Lurkers. I'm not trying to force it on this low-tier comp. I'm just going to go to that next step. And I really like that adjustment because especially against Reynor, who's favoring Stalker Psystorm here, that's very powerful. Now, what it might be weak against is if Reynor switched it up here in Game 7, went Robo, 2 Robos and a Robo Bay. I mean, what if he just went Disruptor Stalker? I actually think there might be a window to kick in Dark's face with Stalker Disruptor. That actually, it's something that it's just so off of Reynor's skill set. He clearly doesn't enjoy playing that. He clearly likes the Stalker Storm flexibility, and that's why he's not going for it. Now, we do see a Baneling Nest at a kind of decent time. Not a very quick time, but a kind of decent one. Infestation second Evo. This may be a Broodlord transition off Ravager Bane. So it might be a bit different here for Dark. That's a lot of gateways, guys. Going from 4 to 10 gateways after that 4th base is up. +1 weapons right on time. Very crisp on that. Changeling does get taken out. But Dark once again confirms Psystorm. And as I said, if he sees that, he will be doing that. We'll be going for that Hive tech. And immediately the Hive does start up. Do we see a Hydra Den, though? Or a Spire? He's got to make a decision, otherwise the Hive is worthless. Unless he wants to just play Ultras, which, I mean, Ultras are good. If they don't have Robo, they don't have Immortals, Ultras are just fine, guys. So you could play Ultras here, but I think Dark's forgotten his tech. I do think he's forgotten it because he's got map dominance, he's got great creep, he's got, you know, his pick and choice of where this game goes, and you don't want to go Hive just for Adrenal Glands. There's more to it than that. Second Forge is on the way for Reynor. Reynor will have to move out to take a 5th, and my question is, where does he do it? He's walled off here so much. Does he take the 5th there? Or does he go for the gold? The gold might actually be the base that he's more comfortable taking. Either way, getting a 5th is very difficult on these maps. I was reading it. There's Team Liquid thread. People were asking, hey, what do you think of the new maps? I think it was Probe who was in there who was saying, oh yeah, you know, it's I don't know if it's bad, but it does feel really hard to get a 5th base on these maps, like, right? You kind of run out of places to expand, and it's hard to secure them, and I've got to agree with that. Reynor already at 92 probes. You guys know he loves to overbuild workers, so that if he loses some, it's fine, and just so he has maximum mining. But my question is, where does the 5th go up? He doesn't have that clean and easy 5th. He's starting a Robo now. He's got a good force. And you know what, guys? Dark's just playing Ravager Bane. He's not really doing anything else. He's got Baneling drops moving across. He's got one on the bottom, one on the top. So you can see he's going to queue this in to this base. The other one on the right side, he's going to queue in to kind of come down and try to drop there. It looks like it will be this northern base that Reynor's going to look for. The Phoenix is going to hunt down the Overseer. Not bad at all. Army on the left side coming forwards. He's trying to build an extra little piece of wall there, but there's no High Templar left on this side. Bit of a mistake, I think, for Reynor. Baneling's going to breach the mineral line, and that's a big success for Dark. Zealots do manage to hold off some of them. Oracle's coming on forward, chasing that back. He says, hey, get out of here, mate. And he will catch some more of these units on the retreat as well. The Stalker's doing very well. Reynor punishing a very ambitious attack there from Dark. But there are still Lings on that base, so maybe got a bit too eager, a bit too early. Meanwhile, Baneling drop comes in there. Oh, okay. Does hold it off. 21 probes have gone down. Reynor's still at 80 workers despite losing 21. It's the chaos and the follow-up damage that could be the real impact, though. That's where things could go nasty. It is indeed a hive simply to get +3 melee and adrenal glands. I said that's not what you want to do in StarCraft. You don't want to go hive just for adrenal. Dark says, yeah, fuck you, Pig. I'll do what I want. Ultra Cavern's on the way. And remember, there's no Immortals out. There's only one Robo. So why not? The Ultra transition does make a lot of sense in this scenario. It's one of the most underrated techs. Banelings! Jenkins! 15, 16 probes go down. Top base is getting ransacked. Oracles are out of energy. He does not want to lose that 5th base right now. Reynor's down to 68 workers. This is not the economy that Reynor likes to play on. He says, where's my 400 probes? Where is my 26 gateways? I want to swarm you. I want to overwhelm you. Dark is annihilating. Gets him to waste some mining. Got the 5th base. Mass Banelings going up there. Great Ling Bane multi-prong. And you know what? If Reynor just had a few High Templar peppered down here, a few more units split on that side, or his Oracles pre-set up there, he would have been fine. But just a moment where he wasn't responsible on his defense, and Banelings breached the top. Lings are pushed back there. Ling Bane trying to rally out. He's literally crashing Baneling Ling into the forge. He's going to deny the +2 shields. Very cute play. Dark is throwing the kitchen sink at Reynor right now, and he's finding the mark. I can't believe, I mean, he's literally, this is the scrappiest, weirdest play, but it's so unfamiliar for Reynor to be playing against the Zerg who's just, he's like, you noticing Zerglings in my base? What the heck are you doing? It's just constant movement and action. Dark here is just flowing. You could tell he's in the zone. He is flowing in from all angles, but it's not game over. But there are Ultras now out. It's mostly Ling Bane. Where's the Psy Storm? No Storm on this top base. Oh, wait, he does have one. Oh, that's a big Storm. My God, Storm plus Archon ravage those Zerglings, but does take losses on some of those units. He's going to need to rebuild those High Templar. He's got none on the top. All of his High Templar are on the bottom. Ravager's still poised, ready to run in. The Archon's going to try and stop this. The probes need to get out of there. Uh-oh, that's not far enough. You need to keep running. Keep running, Reynor. Keep running. Stalkers will get in there for the save. They do deflect that one. Another Nidus Worm in the back door. Dark right now probing every single entrance. We said it in that earlier game. Any hole's a goal. Well, this Nidus Worm, he is a sneaky little bugger, and he's always looking for a way in there. The Stalkers are here. They should be able to shut that one down pretty quickly, but there's Changelings in the base as well. High Templar on the left side. Oh, he's got to be careful. Those Ravagers still being microed. Mass Ling Ultra coming up the guts right now. Big Stormies, though. Those Lings do get annihilated. Is Dark getting a bit too fast and loose? Maybe, maybe not. Queen's popping out on the backside. What the heck are Queens doing in his base, guys? Ravagers finally get picked off on the left side. The Lings are still mobile. Ultra's hitting the left side as well. Ultra's popping out inside the base. Dark realizing he's even burrowing and unburrowing Queens there. Ultra's running in, finding the High Templar. The Archons do take that one out. Ling's trying to breach the right side. Force fields going down. They're not even force fields. Those are clutch fields from Reynor. Reynor is holding back the advance somehow. Is he taking too much damage? Not just yet, but can he hold on? The Banelings are going to breach. They're going to breach. No, the Banelings get focused down. They are inside, but there's Zealots there to help defend. The left side, there's an Ultra in the mineral line. The Archons on the High Templar trying to defend. He's going to take out another Archon. Those, oh, the probes. The probes definitely looking very vulnerable. That's a hungry, hungry Ultralisk, much like hungry, hungry Hippos. Hungry, hungry Ultralisks looking for the probes, not quite finding the connect, but there is a creep tumor in the back of Reynor's natural. I don't know how he defended all that, but he somehow did. He holds the line against a player who's building a rather low-tier army of Ultra Ling Bane. How many Oracles we got out? 4 Oracles right now. Reynor should be able to stop this Nidus Worm from getting up. Stalker Zealot's going to take that out, but if he doesn't get rid of that creep tumor, then he's going to be in for a bit of trouble, because those Niduses can just keep going up over and over again. And indeed it does. Another Nidus Worm going up. Oh no. Dark is just incessantly chipping away at him. Banelings keep trying to get through this right side. He keeps barely hanging on. The Banelings are going to breach the mineral line. He runs the probes, and that allows the Nidus Worm to pop up in the back door. Ling sneaking into the back door there. The Archon Stalker. Where are the Immortals? He'd love to have some Immortals right now to help hang on. More Lings coming in. The F2 to defend. The Banelings coming on the right. And a Burrowed Bane! The Burrowed Baneling! He's doing it! Twitch chat has asked for it. The internet has asked for this move for so many years. He burrows a Baneling in the mineral line, waits for the probes to return, and then whenever he chooses to, he will go boom, boom. 6 more probes do go down. Very sexy maneuver. The Stalker's there. Blink back, nice blink back. But the Nidus Worms, he still hasn't got rid of the bloody creep tumor. Now there's burrowed Lings in his natural as well. Dark is all over him. He says, look, You might be good at Protoss, but I'm going to drag you into deep water. I'm going to show you all these little moves that you're just not used to dealing with, and I'm going to punish you because I have 10 plus years of muscle memory competing with Zerg. You have a few months, maybe a year of screwing around with Protoss in your extra time, and you've gotten surprisingly good at it, but I'm going to put you in so many situations that you have zero experience in. I've experienced every possible scenario in StarCraft a dozen more times than you have with your Protoss. And does Unburrow find some more damage there? 11 probes have gone down in this game. He's still got an abundance of workers. 78 workers is still enough, but the Greater Spire is on the way. Dark is finally realizing, I can't break you right now, but if Reynor doesn't counter push, he will be in trouble. Ultraling Bane's still a very scary army on the map. The 5th base not being up is a huge problem for Reynor. He's got to get it up. The +3 Adrenal Zergs, not going to be able to take it out, those Zerglings. Oracle's on the left side. Oh, he burrows! Reynor, does he? Oh, he doesn't realize that he killed him as well, I don't think. Ah, does he? No? No? Oh, they try to unburrow as well. Oh my god, Dark, you fancy little shitbag. I love it. Beautiful play from Dark. Corruptors are on the way. It's going to be Broodlords soon enough, and there's a scary army of Ultras underneath, man. Ultra Broodlord, not something you want to have Zealot Stalker fighting against this. If you want to fight that army, you want to have like 8 Immortals in there. You want to have like 10 Archons, 10 High Templar, just juice to the gills on energy. You know, you want those guys that are absolutely stacking up those storms. And only then are you maybe confident taking out a small Broodlord Ultra army. But as that Broodlord count grows, especially if Infestors come in, Blinding Clouds, anything like that, you're going to get destroyed as Reynor. So Reynor's hanging on. He's got a good army, but he's kind of got to go push before the Broodlords come in. He's got to kind of force Dark on the defensive. But attacking into Ultra Bane on creep, many would call that a fool's errand. Reynor knows that this is a difficult army to engage into. He's got to be really careful about what he stumbles into. Oh, the Ultra Bane's on top. He cannot lose these Immortals. Great storms. Good storms, good storms. But the Banelings take out a bunch of High Templar and Immortal, an Archon or two. They do pull back, do the Ultras, but the Broodlords are now morphing. 6 Broodlords coming up. I am a little surprised there's no Fungal or Vipers in here. Dark says no Spellcasters for the win. I'm keeping it simple, baby. I'm just going to have a whole lot of fighting units, and that's what I'm going to do it with. And against a guy who's so heavy on Zealot Stalker, I could definitely see it working. The 3-1-1 upgrades are there for Reynor. But he's up against 3-3 Ultras, so Dark does have the better upgrades right now. Ling's going to continue to run into this base. Huge move there. That's going to distract Reynor. Reynor's going to try to blink forward. He gets a Broodlord. The Transfuse is landing, though. There's no Psystorms in here. Oh, great moves by Dark. And he tears up an entire mineral line. I told you those Lings were a huge move. Oh, my God. 24 probes, 25 probes go down. And he burrows it as well. Oh, just adding insult to injury. He's morphing more Banelings. They won't get past the cannons, I don't think, but just attempting things from all sides. Finally, the 5th base is up, but Reynor's just trying to hang on for dear bloody life. This is so hard for him to play out. And Dark, he's taking the bottom left corner gold as well. His income's been far ahead for quite some time. The last 10 minutes, Dark with a massive income advantage for 10 minutes straight in this game. Whew. His bank's starting to show it. 3k, 1k in the bank. Zealot Archon can deny the gold base. At least that's something. And Reynor's going to deny this Nidus Worm in the top right as well, assuming the Oracle has enough energy for it. That's a big Zealot Archon army. I mean, they could take out 1 or 2 Ultras maybe, but 4 Ultras, they stack a lot of splash damage together. 44 damage a hit. Zealots en masse will get just absolutely wiped out. High Templar with the energy. Drops a Spite Storm before going down. Zealot's thinking about spreading out before this engage, but you really want to have some Immortals here. And you want to surround. You really want to kind of surround. Shield Battery Overcharge does come down. Archons on the top do get focused down a little, but there's still a big thrust coming up the middle. He's not just attacking from one angle. Big army down here, but Dark says, cool, that's way more supply than I'm committing. This allows me to push up on the north, and that is something I know you don't have the numbers to deal with. Blink into my Banelings. Have fun with that, idiot. Well, Reynor gets 1, gets 2, and pulls back. I mean, he's actually the one who comes out on top in that mini trade, but where's the Storm? Where's anything to go on top? The Banelings collapsing through the Stalkers, through everything. The Broodlords really working their magic. The Zealot Archon Immortal pushing on the left side, unable to breach that army. He's going to try and recall to defend this. He warps in more Stalkers right now. Those look like slow warp in Stalkers, maybe? I'm not quite sure. It looks like that pylon was placed just a bit too far away from that Nexus. 12 probes have gone down. Reynor's on his last legs. He's out of money. He's going to try and get revenge on this army, but everything has been pulled together to support these Broodlords. You blink under those 8 Broodlords, you're eating a face full of Kaiser Blades, of those Zergling Claws, of those Baneling acidic explosions all over your bloody face. I can't even speak. This series has been so bloody epic. But hats off to Dark, who does it in style. Unzips his fly with his Corruptors. It does pee on the Nexus at the end. Nidus in the back. Ling Bane from every side. Burrow, unburrow. Multi-prong from 4 sides for like 10 minutes non-stop. And that there is just a brutal onslaught. I was talking about where's Reynor going to take his 4th base or his 5th base. And we saw just how difficult that was. Especially with Dark just switching it up. And just showing Baneling drops from all sides, Nidus worms, multi-prong. It was absolute chaos. Reynor did an amazing job at holding on, but over time, Dark just wore him down, swapped to Broodlords, and that was a fantastic way to finish off this grand finals. Hats off to Reynor for going so far, taking Dark to the final match playing Protoss, but at the end of the day, Dark's still too good. He becomes the Gladiator Cup champion.